Nami aloha sunahaya naha. Nimalia soruhaya nahi. Nimalia toruhaya keha. Nishadako soto oloko se hila ila sanatia ko oto o ovro o ushe. Nitili iniki sabadioso fahia laki sanoso tiara. It is once again in divine grace, gratitude, and honor that you all join us today for another adventure
Happy Goddess Friday.
Goddess Fridays. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today. We apologize for the delay. Thank you for being waiting for us and being so patient. And today it's been a little while since we've done a Goddess Friday, so we'll be exploring just a little bit about how it all began, why we started it to begin with. Thanks to all of you for returning. Hello, everyone in the room. And I'll be introducing also our dear goddess, goddess, and I'm not sure what the word I was going to use there. As we gather, Star Sister, thank you, as we gather today together and by synchronicity once again, and as we explore the God and Goddess energy, today we're going to be kind of focusing a little bit on Isis and her counterpart Thoth. And so today is once again about how we began our exploration here with Goddess Fridays and how it all began and how we did really begin with honoring the goddess. And as Dave and I started talking one day, we started realizing all of the, whether it's in Marvel movies, whether it's in all of our epic movies, whether it's in Indiana Jones, in television, movies, stories, how we have used these amazing superheroes and archetypes and to celebrate these counterparts that we are, and how when we see these things in movies, when we touch them, when we play with them, when we share them with each other, whether it's crystals, whether it's oracles, the messages that come through, whether it's the energies of the light languages, all of it reminds us that we are living multidimensional simultaneous lives, that we right now, that version of us, that counterpart, is still having that life there. And we get to tap into that and explore it and exchange information through parallel lifetimes right now, as so many of us embrace this energy within us. So we have invited all of you to join us in these Fridays to explore these items, artifacts, relics, props that mean something to you. Is it a necklace? Is it a ring? We've even got the Solomon ring. We've got the Ark of the Covenant little replica. So this is a beautiful staff that Dave actually had made to signify and empower and embrace this energy. And how we have explored this many times through these Goddess Fridays. What does this mean to us in our daily life? How does it empower us to be more fun, more true to ourselves, more expressive? How is it that all of our movies and television, forever since they started, told the stories of all that we are, all who we are, and how much fun we've had exploring these different parts of ourselves that so many of us are so afraid to embrace. And so I, by happenstance, happened to meet Astara. Thank you to all of you, and her sister Ray Lee, who joined us for our tea ceremony for our spring Astara ceremony. So I wanted to also welcome her today, as Dave and I are going to take a seat here and get comfortable, and let her say hello as well. Let them both say hello. And thanks to Beverly also and Stefano for joining us here in the room. And just as a reminder, the link to my website on the blog post is in the chat. So if you'd like to join us here in the Zoom room, the link to join us in the Zoom room is in the blog post, so that you can feel free to join us. And if you can't join us here, of course, it'll be recorded on YouTube for you to watch later. And also you can interact with us live here on YouTube in the live chat. So if you've got questions, I'm going to be showing some decks of cards, and look at these beautiful goddesses. Oh my God, how beautiful you look, more beautiful.
Hello.
I love it. Oh my God. You are, I tell you, if I would have had that wig today, girl, we would be matching, because look how beautiful you are. I love how much fun you guys are. I love your video clip that you did. It was just so much fun. And we had so much fun the other day when we did the live hangout and the tea ceremony. It was amazing. And talking about the stars and plant medicine and how we are gods and goddesses of our realities. And so I love your blooming, beautiful faces. So please do unmute, say hello.
Hello. Did I unmute us? Are we here? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Thank you so much for having us. We're always so excited to be with the two of you.
Yeah.
It's like we've known you for a long time, even though we've only recently come into each other's lives. So it feels so good to be here. So grateful as well, because I told you that I'd never done any type of live events before you. So you're my mom for birthing me into the live world. So, thank you. I'm not a technology queen. So if Dave and you were not making this happen, this woman over here might one day have been forced to, and she doesn't like it when I drop bombs like that. So
well, hopefully one day we will be attending one of your webinars.
Yes, we will.
And yes, will. Dave has been very instrumental to me. Sometimes I wonder how we create these things, because I was just saying shortly before the video, before the webinar started, how grateful I was to have him with me, and how I love having someone with me that when or if something goes wrong, or, that I've got somebody by my side to help me, especially with the tech stuff. And so
yes.
Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know, but here we are, and we were having, and it was really just a really simple problem, but it was like we couldn't figure out how to make it anyway. So he keeps me calm, he keeps me grounded, and just working through it. So, but that's part of what the God and Goddess energy does for us too.
Yes,
it
that
really
balance,
does.
right?
It does.
Yeah.
And when we explore these fun sides of ourselves, and you get to that, you know what, it's okay, who cares, so what, this is our life, this is what happens, life, how life happens when you're making plans. And so that's how these things come together. So we have, like I said, Dave and I we haven't done a Goddess Friday since July. And so I want to say hi.
I was so surprised to hear.
I know. And it was just, there were so many things going on in our personal life. And then of course, what's going on in the world. And so things were changing, and I had been doing a lot of live stuff. And, in addition to just making videos, cause I love it so much, and doing sessions. And so it was sort of like, I just, like a lot of people, it was like unplug in order to connect. Unplug.
Yes, absolutely.
Unplug in order to connect with each other, connect with my new life. If you're new to my channel, thank you for joining us. I'm Wendy Wolfe with Languages of Lights. This is David Yelen, my fiance. And so if you've been watching my channel for a while, thank you. And you all kind of know my story. This actually is a whole nother day for us too. A lot of wonderful new beginnings for us in exploring our own God and Goddess energy, and even feathering our nest here. Okay, so if you guys watched our last video together, we had just met and spontaneously I just wanted to do something live for spring, and she was all in, and I was so excited that she was all in, and so excited to just jump in and do it with us, and Ray too, and to just be so fun with it, and embracing the whole thing, and the costuming and everything. So, but one of the things I wanted to say to you guys too, that one of the things that Dave and I, our ambition was to have everybody bring something, whether it was maybe your favorite baseball cap that, maybe you got a Batman baseball cap or something, or a t-shirt, or a ring, or a necklace, is something that means something to you, that is maybe a relic, a replica, maybe it's just something that means to you and your family heritage. And because these things, as soon as you think of a movie, as soon as you think of like even looking at a goddess outfit, you literally become the energy of it immediately. As soon as I saw you guys, it's like, I love it. It's like, I love the energy. I love the spontaneity of it. And so we are so unwilling to peel away these layers of us that society's designed for us, that says, you guys, this is stupid, this is silly, why would you, and yet this is a way for us to literally remember and reconnect with our other aspects, our counterparts. There's so much we're learning about all of this, and awareness and ascension and parallel realities and past lives, and what does it all mean? How does it all work? And connecting with all this, and why do so many of us connect with this God and goddess energy, this Isis energy? So the other day when you said, oh, I got the same Isis deck. Yes. And so I was like, okay, girl, we're bringing our decks. We're going to do a video. Let's do a goddess. And I said, I used to do Goddess Fridays live. I said, I haven't done one in a while. Let's just do this. Let's have fun again. We're getting a little settled here in our own healing chamber, as we like to call it here, our healing temple. So we are here. If you're new, Dave and I are here, located in Southern Florida, Southeast Florida, and you guys are there in
Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
There we go. So talk about opposite ends.
Yes.
Hot here. And so, and I don't think I showed this to you, and I've showed this a couple of times in some of my other Goddess Friday videos, but
oh wow.
But Dave also got me this beautiful journal, and I will tell you, the images are so powerful.
Wow.
And I'm going to show you the back too.
Oh yeah. Nice.
And so when even just looking at some of these images and are so incredibly, amazingly powerful. Sorry, Dave, I always couldn't help his face.
Love.
There was one in particular he made me think of today, where she's well, even this one, holding her the flail and the shepherd's hook. And I wanted to, I asked Dave, he likes to look things up for me. So when we're getting ready to do these videos, and this is not just about, and this is, I want to remind just too, and Stefano, thanks too for being here. And I want to remind everybody, this isn't just about goddesses. This is about connecting all the way back to source, and how we're experiencing all these layers of ourselves. And this is just one small sliver, small layer. And then we have to understand too, there's so many, there isn't just necessarily one story, one Egypt past. And so the beauty of doing this is we get to embrace all of those. And we even have to remember that Isis herself, Thoth himself, had also higher selves, other aspects, an infinite number of themselves. Also, we get to tap into all of that when we do this kind of fun work. And I like to call it fun work because it's our work, our play is our work, and our work is our play. And we've got to begin to understand this is where we gain our power in our everyday life, where we create the jobs we want, where we come into our own power, and we are so sure of ourselves that we know who we are inside and we are complete within ourselves. That is how you find the love of your life. That is how you find your purpose, your path, your passion, is by playing, is by doing these things. And so that's why we invite so many people to participate, because it activates this energy within us, and it's just fun. And so as I was going through some of these, I was reminded today, of course, about the sacred circuitry, which I dropped on the floor. Number today, and the tie between also Isis and Tote and the beginning of writing, the beginning of light that became sound, the beginning of light that became speech, that became script, that light became written. All of this is intertwined. And there were things that he read today that I didn't even realize about this beautiful Isis and Tote energy relationship, how they interacted with each other, and how it's shown in hieroglyphs, and how they created the hieroglyphs. So I'm going to be quiet for just a second and maybe let Dave talk. And thank you all once again for being here and watching and interacting. We have so much fun with you guys.
Well, Wendy asked me to remind everyone about what Goddess Friday is and why we're doing this. So Goddess Friday, and this is actually from our original Goddess Friday. This is the notes.
From the, yep.
The name Friday comes from the Old English Fridag, meaning day of Frid, a result of an old convention associating the Germanic Norse goddess Frigg with the Roman goddess Venus, with whom the day is associated in many different cultures. The expected cognate name in Old Norse would be Frigidjardagar. It may be that Frigg or Frigga and Freya were at one point all one goddess, or at least stem from the same one. And I'm just going to skip ahead, because
some of the
we
stuff
also find that that Isis is also associated with those same goddess energies. So I think we started talking about Isis on the first Goddess Friday.
I think we did. I think that's how we started it.
And why Goddess Friday? And these are my notes, but this is after doing a little research. Throughout history, and even today, Friday has been dedicated to the goddess. Friday is even named after a goddess. Woman, the divine feminine, have set aside Fridays to honor the goddess and goddesses. So in many different religions, cultures, Friday is set aside specifically to honor the feminine goddess energy. And Fridays are also set aside from the feminine perspective to prepare for the Sabbath. And women are honored in that way on Fridays, specifically in the Jewish religion.
And we do celebrate that on Fridays because Dave is Jewish. And actually you reminded me of that, about how we talked about how the sunset, right? The sunset for the men was a time when we think the women designed this.
So typically at sunset time, that's a time of prayer where the men are separated from the women to go in to pray. In temple times, they would go to the temple, but
it was like on the way home from work, right?
Even now, it's sort of designed with the timing that you would go right from work to the temple, and you would pray until after sunset, and after sunset, then you go home. So we think maybe the women planned it out.
Had
that
something
way.
to do with it. So they come home and,
I just need a couple
calmer,
more hours.
just need some time to, and how many of us really, as gods and goddesses, do not take that time? Okay, you're coming home from work, you got things to do, people to take care of, even if it's yourself, you got stuff. How many of us don't take that time?
So we could maybe translate it today a little bit as you spent your day in the mundane 3D world, and before you come home, go center yourself and think about God, praying, being of a higher vibration. So when you come home to start the Sabbath weekend, you're in a higher energy. And not only in the Jewish religion, many religions, the prayer is every day. So it's not
just on
Fridays. Lastly, I just wanted to also say that we felt that it was time to bring this forward in this now with both the divine masculine and divine feminine to specifically honor the goddess energies and the goddess energies within all of us.
Yes.
And our first Goddess Friday was on Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's right.
Wow.
So I was looking at Stefano's hat too. I wanted to see if he wanted to tell us a little story, if there was a story behind his hat. Do you have, or if you want to say or not? I was just checking it out, and I'm like, okay, there's got to be a story with this hat that I don't know about.
Hi, Wendy. Hi, Dave.
It's good to see you again. Thanks for coming back and coming and checking us out again. Stefano's been hanging out with us for a long, long time.
Yes, I'm still very excited. Like the first time, it's always there's always a lot of energy with you guys. So
Well, good.
So tell us about your
So
hat.
tell us about your hat. I have to know. What's the story?
I went with my family in France, in Paris, and this comes from Disneyland Paris because it's the hat of.
Oh, it's Mickey! I knew it. I was just going to ask, is that Mickey's Fantasia hat?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
How much more magical could you get than that?
Now that's magical and very synchronistic, because this couple, this Isis toe couple, talk about they were the bringers of magic. So very synchronistic.
Nice. And
how long have you had it? When did you get your hat? How long have you had it?
I was 10 years old, I think. I was very small.
See?
And Paris is there is a legend that the name Paris comes from Isis. So it's another very, very big synchronicity.
I didn't know that. See, I had no idea. And you've had it since you were 10. This is what I'm talking about, you guys, you viewers out there who want to come in and hang out. It's not about this. You don't have to do all this. It's about that and that. It's about just bringing yourself out and sharing something like that means something to you. And see, I had no idea that there was a tie between the name Paris and Isis. So imagine that too. When we think of, especially in America, when we think of Paris, we think of course, who doesn't, love and romance and the Eiffel Tower. And then I moved for a short time to Tennessee after living and growing up in the Chicago area. And where did I move? Paris, Tennessee. Not kidding. And it has a miniature Eiffel Tower. It sure does. You can look it up. You can Google it. And so that's what I'm talking about how so in that idea, then when you bring it when you wear it and then you come here and hang out with us, how do you feel?
How do I feel? I don't know. It's a lot of emotions, definitely, and I used to bring this hat with another hat in my bag. I just took it away like a week ago because my back became really heavy, because I used to bring a lot of useless stuff like a Tibetan bells.
We were just talking about the same thing. I'm not kidding you. Some of my stuff and oh geez.
When he was discussing the idea of what if you went away on a vacation and you took nothing, none of your stuff.
Nothing, none of your stuff. And we've been joking about it. And an old comedian, George Carlin, did a whole bit about it, about your stuff and how you're so attached to your stuff. And then you go on vacation and you got to bring some of your stuff. And then when you're on vacation and you go someplace to stay while you're on vacation, you got to bring a little bit of that stuff with you so that you feel good about having your stuff with you. You know what I brought too, you guys? I always brought my cards with me.
You never know.
You never know when you might want to make a video, or you never know when you might want to, run into somebody and do a quick oracle reading. You never know. So the fact that you said emotional actually, first of all, surprised me. But second of all, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When you ladies were getting dressed today, were you not feeling...
we will maybe share some stories with you after about that.
Yes. Please do. Even Dave and I, you should see us too, looking at what we're gonna wear and picking our stuff out, and it's like we're little kids.
And we sort of match.
You match.
So that I wanted to thank you for that, Stefano, because I was going to show you, there's a couple of hats up here. I've got a birthday hat that looks just like your magic hat that I got for my birthday the year I moved here. And then I already forgot 2019. And I have a hat that Dave bought me.
You've always been here. There's only now.
That's true. Aww.
Mm.
And it's the actual Wendy the Witch hat from Wendy and Casper.
Oh wow!
It's a little red hat, and it's up here, up on the shelf up here. But your hat reminded me of that too, the birthday hat, and then Dave's cowboy hat's up here. So I have been wearing hats all my life. I love hats. Most of my videos, you'll see I'm almost always in a baseball cap. But I collected men's fedoras. And I wore them. I actually used them and wore them to work. And, because I wanted to be fun and embrace these energies of these other aspects of us. So one of the things I wanted to, I was going to have Dave read that Isis, and he had to go check on AJ. So I wanted to say hi to everybody. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Hey, Deb. Hi, Steph. Love you, girl. Oh, there she is. Indigo Fire Girl. Where are you? You're supposed to be in this hangout. And just so happens that her name is Michaela. So that's kind of an interesting synchronicity, because I've been channeling this new non-physical energy kind of thing lately, introduced to me as the name Michaela. So there's been a lot of that kind of thing going on, but back to this idea of, feeling the power and the energy and the emotions when we put these things on, and when we're just playing and getting dressed. Think about, those who have celebrated Halloween, for example. How much fun do we get? Because we get one day a year to give ourselves permission to be the superhero, to be the angel, to be the goddess, to be all of the things that we're afraid to be. And we only allow ourselves one day One day. Why? Goddess Fridays was designed to give us permission every week to be this way. And not only that, it was to give you permission to do it every day in some way.
Okay, I just want to share something because
you go ahead. I'm gonna.
It pertains to right now, and rather than bring it up later and bring us back to this point, and without airing out a million dirty details between sister dynamic, I will carefully, I'm saying this for her right now, I will carefully share what transpired as we were getting ready. So we also love Halloween. I don't think there's going to be a surprise to that based on what we came to the table with today, but we that's, you know, as witches, that's our new year. But even before we knew that, Halloween was always one of our favorite holidays. We both have tickle trunks of all of our costumes, and we've both always, you know, spent a lot of money on makeup for the idea of not the beautification of makeup, but for the idea of the adornment of it. Do you know what I mean? So we're getting ready. We talked about what we were going to dress up of Persephone, and this is my version of Isis. And we're getting ready. We discussed makeup, what have you. I was in one room, Ray was in the other room. And I had thought, because we had talked about it, that I was going to help her pick the makeup colors and what we were going to do. And I even invited her into the washroom. Are you going to come do your makeup? And she said, oh, no, I'll just get it started out here in the living room. I said, okay. And then next thing I know, she's done and everything's done. And I was like, wait, what's going on? I thought we were playing together. I thought we were doing this together. And there's like a long-standing dynamic that Ray and I work through and are working at and have worked through that is not just of this lifetime, that is of many lifetimes.
Of course.
We learned last summer that we have been twins in a past life. So there is a connection between us that is not the same as just regular sisters. It's similar to the vibration I get between you and Dave. It's like the wholeness comes with the two. Yes, you're all whole. You're both whole individually, but there's something different that happens between the two of you. It's the same. Ray and I have that too as sisters. And so one of the long-standing things is that, you know, I'm always wanting her to become more light and free-flowing and play. And she resists me in whatever context or playing field that is. So this resistance started to creep up as we're getting ready. And as Isis would, I got a little bit heated. And, you know, we kind of had what we do, right? The fire came through and we had a bit of dialogue about what is this resistance to her really just honoring herself. It's not about me and it wasn't about the makeup. It's the resistance I could feel to allowing herself to play, to allowing herself to be taken care of by me, who sees her as the beautiful, shining goddess light and God, the balance of both at all times. This resistance to adornment, allowing herself the like you said, the relics, the exaggeration, allowing the self to be honored at all times in little and big ways. And it brewed up and bubbled up. And I was just like, this needs to be worked at. I said, I don't care about makeup either. I don't even wear makeup anymore. I'm surprised I had this much to put on. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's funny because I haven't worn makeup in probably since, I want to say 9 years. Today was the first time I've even, and all I did was like put some like eyeshadow on. It was like,
yes,
it felt so weird and foreign to me because it's been so long. I'm like, you know, it's weird.
I do. Well, because the relationship has changed for you, right? And it has for the two of us too. We used to be the type of people that wouldn't leave the house without makeup on.
Right? Oh my God, no.
No, but then it got to the point where I put makeup on once a year and I'd be like, who is this person? I wish I never put this makeup on. But now it's evolved into we're playing. You know what I mean? It's evolved into
and
like.
The thing is, I have always looked at makeup as just another expression of my own artistic.
Yes.
And it wasn't that I wore a lot or anything like that,
Yes.
but I always felt it was like part of my accessory.
Me too.
Part of my persona.
But I think what I didn't realize, which I feel like you might say too, is I was subscribing to these patriarchal pressures as well.
Yes.
I always used it as art. That's how it always was for me, but still I'm not good enough.
Honestly, you're right, because to God's honest truth, I worked in the business world for decades. I wish I could have felt comfortable enough every day to walk in that office with none of that stuff. But you can't, I don't want to say I can't, you can't, but okay, let's talk about this, how this empowers us in the real world, ladies and gentlemen, because this is what happens to us. We get lost in that idea that now we're doing it for acceptance. We're doing it because I can't get the job without it, because I feel inadequate. And the irony of all this is that I was just like that, never would leave the house. And even after I stopped working, it was a year before I would leave the house without makeup on. And the thing that I realized was the women I admired the most were the women who were so comfortable in their own skin. Then it's not that I'm saying that they had anything against makeup or that I did. It was that I wanted to be comfortable in my own skin. That's it. And why wasn't I? Why couldn't I be? Why couldn't I feel like a goddess without that? Why wasn't I treating myself like a goddess without all that? That's really, and this goes for men too, you guys, the suits, the ties, the you know what? I mean, and I don't even know if that still goes on. You know what I mean? Even a man who wants, and I say a man, but let's just take gender out of the picture.
Right.
Any job you're going for, if you don't wear the costume, you're not accepted. Now imagine if you and I walked into a job interview dressed like freaking ISIS. Either they're going to say you're freaking nuts and you're not getting the job, or they're going to be like, you know what? I like you.
Yeah.
I like you. You dared to walk in this office with a freaking ISIS costume and expect to be hired in a business world? You've got the job. I like your moxie, and so this is standing in our God and Goddess power in the real world.
Absolutely. And I love what you have been saying, because this is basically what I was saying to Ray. And it is so important, is that every moment is a moment of celebration. And I don't mean this in some spiritual,
I know it's not this
way. I mean it in a very grounded way, where it's like every moment is an opportunity to say, I am worth it. And if we're not weaving that in to those every moments, how do we expect to get to the point where we can walk into the workplace and say, I'm comfortable in my own skin? It is a constant repetition to ourselves of I am worthy, not just one big explosion of I am worthy. It's all the little things that equal the big moments.
And that's right, because it's the little moments every day that we tell ourselves we're not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I don't look good enough, I can't go out, I can't wear this, I'm too little, I'm too big, I don't look good in this, I look skinny.
It's not worth it.
Oh my God.
It's an obligation, like all the things we tell ourselves.
It's crazy. It's amazing to me. I was laughing because I was going to go tell Dave to go get it, but I won't make him. But he bought this for me. So I'm laughing about what you're saying, or not laughing, but I'm thinking about even today, our night turned into not what we planned. And then, but the thing is the whole day was perfect. Everything's perfect the way that it is. And, what was I going to say?
You were thinking of something you wanted Dave to go grab.
About, God, what was I going to say about, so the bath. So it was like, well, I really don't have time to take a bath and this and that. And Dave's like, you know what? Go soak in the tub for a little while. So I get in the tub, and I swear to God, I completely forgot that he had gotten me this jar goddess scrub. Says it right on the jar. I set it on the bathroom counter to remind myself to bring it to this hangout. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Even the like for Dave, he loved, you guys are gonna laugh at this too. With the synchronicities out there. Sasquatch soap. No, we have no affiliation, no nothing. We're not, Sasquatch soap. So because
it's a thing.
He likes it. He likes that it's natural. He likes the smells of it. Certain ones he likes more than others. So it's not just about women, guys.
AJ likes it.
AJ likes it.
It was his idea to get it.
Oh, that's right. And bath bombs. I never took a bath with a bath bomb in my life until I met him. And pretty sure.
Well, I never did either.
Right.
But I thought it was a good idea.
You know what I mean? And that's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. How many people are even uncomfortable to take a bath together and do a bath bomb together and relax your hard muscles together? I mean, bring in a beautiful glass of, lemon water or a beautiful glass of wine. We always like candles. We make it a God and goddess temple, even if it's for an hour.
And the thing is that this is root chakra. Okay. Root chakra is our basic things that we need to do for ourselves. So you're talking about, we wash ourselves. We need to turn the ritual of washing ourselves into the honoring of the God or the goddess or both. We're talking about the food that we eat. You made a beautiful soup yesterday that you put intention and love into. Again, basic instinct, basic survival. We need to eat. So when we get a glass of water, do we hold our hands on it or beam a blessing into it? This is root chakra. And so many people right now, because of what's going on in the world, are experiencing the fight or flight survival mode. And they're going to these extreme big ways that they feel they need to try to control outside of themselves to make them feel good. But what you're saying and everything that you're weaving with your channeling right now is talking about bring it back to the basic, the things that we do have control of, how we drink a glass of water, how we cleanse ourselves. What is the smell of that Sasquatch soap? Is it the one that we like? Great, use it. Do we not like it? Don't use it. Very simple, small, tiny ways that we give to ourselves, and then our root chakra becomes balanced. We are grounded, we are connected, we feel safe, we feel secure, and we have to bring it back to us. And these Goddess Fridays, like, this is what I'm loving about all of this. It's reminding people in big and small ways.
We're so much alike. It's so funny.
Bring it back. We literally are. I knew that the first minute we laid eyes on each other and you started speaking. So,
where are you?
And that does remind me too, anyone that's watching on YouTube now live, you could go to Wendy's website, languagesoflights.com, go to events, Goddess Fridays, and there's a link. Join us here.
Just come and hang out in Zoom.
You don't have to
it's in the live.
You don't have to put your video on. Hi, Beverly. Love you, girl. See, Beverly comes. She visits. She's hanging out in her garden. She's watching spaceships come in the sky. She's hanging out with us. I know she's here. You don't need to turn your camera on. Be where you want. Do what you want. Wear what you want. It's about being with us and being in the energy and bringing that to your life. What cards can we pull today to give the answer you guys need today? What do we all need to hear today? It's everything we say is a reflection back to ourselves. Everything I say is my higher self talking to me, talking to you. You guys' higher selves are talking to me, telling me the things I need to hear too.
Yes. I have a question then, Ray. Can I ask you to share then what your takeaway was from seeing where that disconnect was, and now everything that Wendy and Dave have said? Like, what has been going on in your mind? Yeah, what would you like to share?
Well, I would say, everything's on point. I
do feel like lately, I've definitely noticed there's been some like, I don't know what you would call it, but like addictive tendencies coming through. Like, oh, I want to buy something on the internet, or, you know, like something I don't need. Yeah. Impulsive,
Oh,
you know,
impulse.
like
Okay.
ungrounded. And I think this is the takeaway, is like not having that conscious opportunity every day. Like I have my certain rituals. Like I make my coffee in the morning. I get excited for it. It's
So
my
do we.
special drink,
What?
and I like have intention in it. And I take my medicine tinctures every day, and I do my ritual with that. I take my nourishing tea every day. I have my ritual with that. But it's like there's these certain pockets of the day, like having a shower in the morning. It's one of my favorite rituals. I do like a cleansing prayer in the shower. You know, there's all of these different points in the day where I have these moments, but I think then outside of that, I'm not taking the opportunity to see the opening.
Here's what I'm hearing, what you're saying. You already have your deep ritual, which is, you know, for an earth baby, Taurus, Virgo, you know, the earth, you know, she's got her path very rooted, but almost so rooted that you're not seeing the other places where there's lack. And this lack is coming through as impulses to grab for things that you don't need, instead of taking care in the small ways that don't cost money, that are more gentle and loving. Is this
100%. And like even with my partner Austin, we joke because in shamanic astrology, I'm the turtle clan and he's the butterfly clan. So he flies around being light, and then when he has those moments and I look over at him and I'm in my like mind thinking about something else, he goes, "Oh, turtle, like come join me," you know, and we laugh. And that's like a trigger for me to like pop out of that.
Wait, what clan am I again?
You're frog.
I'm frog. So now I need to tell turtle. Okay, I got it. I clocked it. Y'all will see the fight live tomorrow night with the boxing.
Turtle versus frog.
Turtle versus frog. Okay. You can bring your beers, get your popcorn.
Okay. Yeah. So it's about like literally getting out of the shell. Like the turtle represents me on so many levels.
Yes,
Oh my God, I can't even tell you what a weird synchronicity that is, Ray, because when I before Google and Google Plus, all this stuff started years ago, I took these pictures of this turtle literally in my backyard up north, and I laid on the ground with this turtle for like an hour, just waiting for this thing to come out of its shell, to poke its head out. Finally, it did. I swear to God. So I take these magnificent pictures. I'll show them. I'll put them on my blog on my website so you guys can see them. Oh, and one of my videos, the song, I think it was a collaboration video I did, the Symphony of Source. It was a collaboration video I did with Light Languages and put to music. And I used that photo of that turtle for the thumbnail. It's on my website, on my YouTube channel right now. And that was what I called the picture when I posted it on Google Plus, that doesn't even exist anymore. Come out of your shell.
Yeah.
And this is what it was telling me. And that's the time when I started waking up. I started connecting with nature spirits more. I got my dog Ranger. We started doing, walking in the woods. And all of a sudden I started waking up, and then it started the channeling, the light languages, the opening. And it really does, you guys, nature, number one way. And we're talking to the nature spirit girls here ourselves, but back to what we were talking about too, a lot, what you were saying about how we really do, sometimes we think we need to make these big grand gestures in our lives to embrace the goddess in us, and that's not what it's, thank you so much. It's not what it's about. It's literally about the little things. Oh, he did get it. See, he's so sweet.
Yay.
And again, I'm not associated with these people. Dave just bought it for me one day, but it was because he really believes in the goddess in me. Empowers and embraces and wants that to expand in me. And so even as simple as getting,
Oh, cute.
and then he bought one too that was a unicorn scrub. But even on the back, it says, sorry, it's hard to read in here. Slump into the shower, chant, I am a goddess, whilst rubbing me all over in circular motions. Rinse me off and reveal the divine.
Oh, wow.
Now go take on the day like a goddess. See?
I love that. Wow. And I think that's what Ray said, her biggest moment in this dialogue. I keep saying dialogue because you know it was more heated than a dialogue. But what she said is that myself and her partner, we see this goddess in her and this shiny light that is so obvious to us, and that there's more work to be done so that she is able to see that for herself in the same way that we do. So like Dave, for you, we are for Ray in helping to encourage.
I say the same thing about my own sister. And hi, Lovey, if you're watching. That the same thing is that, you know, the irony of it was too, is that she never saw her own inner beauty either, the way we all saw her. And she would always look to me as if I was the more beautiful, the prettier, the, you know, but yet I had so little self-esteem. I didn't see any of it. I still, it's almost like sometimes you think, you know, I don't even, you know, in certain ways, people reflect things back to us, and and I've said, there's a line in a song, and I've said this to Dave before, you know, I need your grace to remind me of my own. And we look at each other and we need each other's grace to remind us of our own. We're all so beautiful. And even Michaela came through the other morning and said that you guys are it's so easy for you to believe and build on inadequacies that are not even real. Why would you want to do that when you can build on the beauty that you are? Why would you choose that? It's just a belief.
You testify. I love that. That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
You know, and that is the thing too, is that I can see both of you and the radiant beauty from each of you differently, but the source element that we see in each other is the same. It doesn't matter. Male, female, doesn't matter. Yeah. That is what we honor in each other. Yeah. And the grace that we remind each other of. That's all these hangouts are for. That's what this is about, reminding each other of our own grace, reminding each other of the God and Goddess. I mean, we can read cards all day and give people messages, but you know what? It's about, what does this mean to you in your real world? When you go watch movies and you watch videos and you turn on, you know, a Marvel movie, why are you watching it? Why? Because you want to be reminded who you are. Hello? Seriously, you know, Wonder Woman, you know, let me tell you, I didn't own any of these costumes before I met him. No. And it was all about being daring, being fun, just playing, no insistence on anything. Just be and play. I would have never done this or bought this stuff or let me tell you guys, even having been on YouTube for whatever it was, 5 years before I met him and moved in here, I was very hesitant to do this on YouTube because I mean, light languages and channeling the messages and the information is so sacred to me. I did not want to diminish that, but that's not what this is about. I was afraid it would diminish that part of me. Well, that's absurd. All it does is add to it. It adds to the beautiful layers of all that is. We are so pigeonholed ourselves these days, even the spiritual world. I do this.
Absolutely.
I do this. I do this. We need to meld and alchemize the things that we do into this, what we're doing today.
Well, because as you said, if we don't, because the reason why I didn't even barely record a video, let alone a live, is for that exact reason that you just said, that I thought it would bastardize what I'm doing, that it would take away from it. But when you were saying that, all I hear is, but then how could you be the reflection to other people of what they also are, that it is okay and safe to be, that they can step into? Because much of my work, which I feel is the same for you, Wendy, is about helping people with empowerment, right? So if I have found my path to empowerment and remembering that, then how can I help people in the biggest way? Well, it's not just on one-on-ones in my apartment, because how do I get every billion, trillion, million, zillion person access to that? I don't, right? And we're not pretending that billion, million, zillion, trillions are watching us today, although they should be, because if they're not, they're missing out.
Oh, but they are. Oh, but they are.
They are. Right?
Oh, but
so
they are.
They are. And if not, they soon will be, because it's going to spread like wildfire. I feel very confident about that. No. But yeah, is other people, because playing is easy for me, and I can see if it wasn't always easy for you, it has become. And that's one of the points of discourse between Ray and I, is like, I want to play. I'm playful. I'm jokey. Let's do it. And Ray, in her little turtle shell, sometimes, she snaps that little turtle head out at me, or she won't even pull it out of the shell. And we all need these reminders. What are we so cool for? What are we in lack with? Joy? Like, joy is what fills us up with that divine nectar. Why do we not want the divine nectar of joy, of play? That's what we really have to ask ourselves. Why are we saying, I'm going to willingly cut myself off? Or maybe I've been cut off energetically in some way, and I'm not even willing to re-braid or make that connection. And we all need to. We need to consciously be involved in this process, because not all of us are going to get those miraculous points where everything just snapped together in a Kundalini awakening,
The funny thing is, my sister, we were so the opposite. When I was little, she used to say this to me all the time. My sister's very, very imaginative, very playful, very fairy-like, very.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Both are very fairy-like. But the irony of it, when we were little, and even my mother would say this to me too, and my sister to this day still says, why are you so serious? I never would play. She's like, why won't you just play? Just play with me. Just imagine, just pretend. And even as a little girl, and I'm talking to you guys, I was probably only about maybe 5, something like that, maybe 6, but where it was like, I was like, well, because what's the point? What's the point of playing when there's a serious world out there? Why would I want to do that and pretend and play? But now we understand it's almost about survival, really.
There's that root chakra again. See, there's the root chakra.
How many countries cannot believe we only take 2 weeks of vacation here in the United States?
Right.
2 weeks?
Right.
2 weeks, 10 days, and 2 weekends, 3 if you're lucky.
You ask, what is the point of all of this? And Isis would say, to know thyself,
To know thyself.
Ah, yes.
To know
Well,
thyself.
and I think this is the thing for Ray is she is very imaginative. She's very playful. She's a freaking artist that will knock the socks off of everybody
Oh my God.
when we share some of her creations later. But she has felt safe only in that survival way to play inside. And so this is what one of my greatest teachings that has come about on this journey to help people is I have my own universe inside of me. You both each have your own universe. She has her own universe, every human being. But the point of existing with humans, we didn't come here to be separated. Obviously, we could go into the idea of separation, but we're not, is to share that universe. So we're here to share our own universe with every other individual we want to create that third universe. This is what I'm talking about when I feel the energy dynamic between the two of you. You each have your own universe and you've shared it with each other to create your third universe, right? We can have that third universe or fourth, fifth, eighth, 12th, 100th with everybody. But it's getting people to the place where they understand that, yes, they are safe. Yes, they are secure. It's safe to shine their light in the world. It is safe to be you in this life. You are safe to share your universe. And, you know, thank God for the Daves and the me's and the Wendy's then who are here to remind people you're safe. You just have the computer. You need to start letting your computer tell the rest of yourself that you're safe to just shine your light. Because that's what this play, this joy, this goddess, this God, the honoring of know thyself. Okay, we could know thyself, but do we feel safe to share thyself? Because that's the next part of it. So again, loving all of your segues into all of these conversations because people need to be reminded of this. They need to hear it. Not just in a meme, but to see it then, because they see it in you.
Exactly. You read it on Facebook in a meme and you go, wow, that sounds really good. And yeah, I believe in that, but are you actually applying it, living it, breathing it?
Exactly.
You know, and I have to say, and Dave and I've had this conversation many times too, what you just said about the third thing, we just had exactly the same conversation yesterday and multiple times, but again yesterday, about how each of us together create the third thing that creates that space to be able to do that new thing that you could do on your own. You could, but you couldn't. You had, it's that third thing.
Well, it's the triple goddess. It's the Holy Trinity, right? So it's the pyramid. It's the triangle. I mean, that's what you're talking about.
Absolutely. And I was just saying that to Dave too, about even like an outfit like this, for example. We were talking about going out in public and wearing certain things. And it's interesting that, and this is even difficult for me to even explain in some ways, but because of how, because I'm being empowered to be myself, I am now feel much more secure, safe, if you want to use that word, safe, that I can feel safe going out into the world, wearing something maybe that's more revealing that I would normally not be comfortable in, because I'm with someone who empowers me. And I do not even think about what other people are thinking. Don't care. Don't care. Because I used to be, because I was so self-confident, so self, what's the word I'm looking for? Conscious. Thank you. That I even with other people did not feel comfortable wearing those things. Yet now we joke about how we want to walk into the freaking Publix grocery store wearing this stuff.
You should.
Just to see what people say.
The thing that I can tell you, having worked with psychic, empathic, gifted, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant people for years, is that is also you coming into harmony with an energy match with you, because I know exactly what you're talking about. For years in my life, I didn't understand this bubble that was created with these key people that there was that soul connection with. And when you have that bubble, then you're literally invincible. Okay. And
Yes.
so I know exactly what you're talking about in many different contexts, even if it wasn't like wearing revealing, but it was just like going out to a concert or going to an event. There's that bubble that's created around you. Whereas if you were standalone or with other people, that you didn't have that third universe bubble, that I keep wanting to use the word special, but it's not special, because we want to say, you know, when we get to a point, we can have that connection with anybody. But for those in the beginning or middle of their journey, it feels like it's special with only certain people. Then the eventual is, we get to that place where we are standalone and we create our own bubble. And that bubble is, you know, that is the full resonance of, I think, knowing thyself and sharing thyself. But yeah, like so many people go through what you're talking about. It's not your psyche will equate it to self-confidence, but we'll say it's energy. It's that energy when we understand how to work with, I call it vibrational escrow, other people's energy and our energy, and knowing how that works. I mean, I want y'all to go out in those outfits. I want you to record it too. I want you to send it to me. And then I want to come visit you and I want to go with you. And let's just see what happens, because why not? What else is everybody up to right now?
Exactly. What else?
You know?
There was a time when it was not at all acceptable to walk into any place with a mask on. Oh my God. If you did,
yes, that's exactly.
30 camera in person has got all eyes on you right now.
They want you to.
They want you to wear a mask now.
Yes.
So isn't that funny how perception?
Oh, I was just thinking about this today. In Vancouver, we have a lot of Indo-Canadians and from the Sikh community, and even seeing them in a turban, people would like glare sideways. Burqa or the hijab, you know what I mean? And now we're telling everybody, cover up and do those things. So perception.
So weird. It's just so bizarre. Beverly. Hey, woman. I just want, she turned on her camera. I wanted to say hi. Did you want to say something, darling?
Am I unmuted now?
Yep, you are. You sure are.
I was listening to something yesterday, actually, and they were saying that, you know, because of people are working at home and you know, they may be doing face-to-face like we are now, but they're sat there with their maybe shirt and tie here and nothing underneath under the table, and people are finding that they want to be more relaxed. They don't want to be in a fixed state of having to wear, you know, suit for work.
Yep.
And that companies have now caught onto this, and so we're going to be moving into the elasticated waistbands. You know, which is great for me, because I am all about comfort.
Well, I got to tell you, Dave and I are already in that club as often as possible. We even laugh about our inside and outside clothes, because as soon as we walk in the door, you know, the first things that come off are the pants with all the pockets and then the elastic shirt come on. And for him and me, you know, the first thing that comes off. Us women, you know, there's bras everywhere, because we're like, oh my God, I got to get this thing off as soon as I walk in the damn door. Oh my God, I got, you know, that's a whole nother subject I don't even want to get into right now. But that's my point too. That is a huge point, especially living here in South Florida. I am not comfortable going out in the world without certain under things on. So there's that too, that being, even just being comfortable with going out in the world the way you want to be. I do not even, he's like, I don't care. Of course he doesn't care. But you know what I mean? But because there's this weird dynamic about this that I want to explain too. And I think this is good for men and women to hear. Because he doesn't objectify me, but embraces and empowers me, I can feel comfortable walking around or going somewhere that way, even knowing that even if he's admiring the way I look, he is not objectifying me. There is a big difference. And so
I admire the way you look.
I know you do. I admire the way you look too. But you see
It's the blue
how,
hat.
but isn't it funny though, how the question I even have from my guides right now to me and all of us is, but why does it take another person to show you that? Why can't we just look in the mirror and go, you know what? So the frick what? Who cares if my nippies are showing? You know, who cares? But this is the whole thing. It's because everybody's made us care. But you go to other countries, other cultures where they do not wear clothes, they wear loincloths, I was even joking with Dave about that, about telling him he should wear his black stretchy shorts, you know, for the hangout today. He's like, yeah, it just doesn't look right.
Well, didn't go with the outfit.
It just didn't go. Yeah, it just didn't go.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of people that are very judgmental out there. And I have had male friends in my life that have judged me for how I look. I've had one person who wouldn't even go uptown with me if I've got my scruffs on because I'm decorating and I just want to nip into town to get some more paint. I'm not going up there with you looking like that. It's like, why?
What?
You know?
Oh, Dave,
Yeah,
I wouldn't care. The more paint I put on my face to go out in town, the happier he'd be. And that reminds me, because I don't know what I did with him, but he bought me that set of
light language pens.
They're tattoo pens. They wash off in like 2 days. And oftentimes, even if we're just going to the grocery store, I'm drawing light language symbols on me and artwork, and you know what I mean? And it's like people go, wow, I really love that, you know? And it's terrible. It's just me drawing with sometimes with my other arm on my other arm, but it's the permission slip. It's the permission slip you're giving someone else to say, know thyself. Go play. Go write on yourself. I remember when we were kids, my parents hated that. We'd come home with writing on our bodies and they'd be like, oh my God, it was like the most horrible thing you could ever done is poison yourself with ink on your body. It's like, oh, for crying out loud. I'm still living and breathing. You know what I mean? It's like, so yeah, but
turns out it didn't kill you.
The fun of it. It's the fun when you walk into the grocery store, and I've done it myself. How many times have we looked at other people's artwork or clothing, or I've said, God, I love your hat. Oh my God, I love your glasses. Oh my God, I love your boots. You know, I love your art. I love your ink. How many people say that? I love your ink. Love your ink.
I always do. If I see something and somebody catches me maybe staring, and I'll say, it's okay, I'm looking at your tat.
Exactly. I love it. It's like I'm in oh my God, you could see. The judgment washes away and they're going, hey, thanks a lot. You know, thanks for admiring my expression of part of me.
Yeah.
Know thyself.
But another thing that, particularly with women, because women do get roughed up a bit. I know, I've been there. You go into a nightclub when I was younger and you see a pretty girl. She's made an effort to do herself up and she looks lovely. And I would tell her she looks lovely.
Me too.
You know, and some girls, I don't think they have enough people telling them that they look lovely.
I agree. And you know what? Women know more than you know what? I think most women will agree with me that women dress for other women because we want to give each other permission to be okay with ourselves. We want to go out there and be bold and daring and have another woman look at us and say, I like that. I like that you did that. And I like you. And I want, and like you said, I want to appreciate that you took this time and effort to express yourself in a way that you normally wouldn't, you know, maybe wouldn't. And the opposite is true for me now, you guys. I would never be caught in my other life, my other person, my other version of me. I would never be caught dead in a nightclub in Miami without makeup, and not anymore. I don't care. I will wear what I want, how I want, even if I'm in flip-flops and shorts. They may not let me in dressed like that, but no, the point is, I don't feel like I need to go do this, even for him, you know? And so that's the whole point, is that,
once you've taken that pressure off yourself and you are yourself and you can walk into anywhere with no makeup on and just being with you and not on show for anybody else.
It's like, guys, if they understood that I am more interested in a guy who is their natural self than where his cologne precedes him before he has even entered the room. You know?
Maybe you want to say hi.
Yes, hi everybody. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat too. Yep, I've been looking too. Yeah, Brandy, I was hoping to see. I was been trying to talk. I have a lot of side conversations with a lot of you privately. So I'm always getting people like to come out of their shell. So they're that Ray. I'm always getting people to, what have I done with your sister? Getting her to come out of her shell. Oh my God, you got to do me a favor, Ray. You have to show, do you have a printout? I did not print out the thing you made for me. Do you have a way that you can show people the image that you made for me? I knew she would, because this is actually something, talk about knowing thyself and having someone who has only met me once go through and know me in a way and see me in the way she saw me, and then how she developed this totem goddess, beautiful, amazing, and then to the sections that you included of the each piece and how you came to that. That is a perfect example of seeing and embracing the God and goddess within a person, of seeing a person for who they really are, and feeling. And this is what I want to say to you, Ray, too. It takes a lot of self-love to create something like that for someone. It does. A lot of self-love. And I know that sounds crazy, and I think maybe people may not even understand what I'm saying, but they will.
It makes me cry when I hear you say that, because I agree with you. When anybody creates in whatever way, and we are all creators, even when we just speak or show up, they're showing who they are through their creation. So it does take a lot of self-love to create and to put that out there for any other human being, whether it's just a person in your living room or somebody that you've only met once, or putting it on the internet. You're absolutely right.
It is. It's hard for me to explain what I mean by that, but when someone creates something for you, just as so many of you have done for me and sent me these things.
And thank you, Stefano. I know you want to go to sleep, so I wanted to say goodbye. Thank you so much. I'm so happy you came, and bring your hats anytime. And we always love your energy, and we love that you're here. Thank you so much. And thanks for staying up late for us. So, and Beverly too, it's late. Beverly's in the UK. So I'm always honored that you guys are hanging out late to be with us. And so I wanted to say that sometimes we as humans are afraid to give a compliment, give emotion, give a hug, give or give something we've made to somebody because of our own lack of self-worth. That we think if we honor someone else, that we're taking away our own worth. And yet what you said earlier about creating the third thing, the triangle, that's what happens. You have two people, and then you share something for that person, and now you've created this whole new beautiful bubble, this third thing. And so so what I wanted to tell everybody was, after our hangout the other day on Astara, for spring and the tea ceremony, Ray made me this beautiful totem. And it was an expression of
several different ways that she sees me depicting, you know, the shaman and the you know, the ET spirit and there it is. It's just absolutely incredible. I did post it on Facebook. I'm going to post it on my website too, so you guys can really get a really good look at it. And it is so intricate. And then the words that she used to depict what it meant. I wish I was going to open my email too to see if I you have it in front of you, the words that you used.
I'll have to see.
If you don't know, that's okay. I don't want to put you on the spot because I wanted to look at, I did want to read them to everyone too, but I will post them again so that everybody could see it, and I'll post it on my blog so that you can see up close the picture, and if you want to zoom in and stuff. But it, and then the words that she used to describe each of the sections and what she saw and how she created it. It was really just such an incredible, I literally burst into tears. Ask Dave, I did. I was like, I was like so overwhelmed with.
And like all day.
Humility.
And the next day.
It was weird. I was so overwhelmed with humility that someone would take the time to not just see me, but know me and then express it that way. Very humbling, I have to say. I don't know how else to express that it was so humbling, and the gratitude and that expression of you and my understanding, how much of you that took to, you know, it was an incredible experience for me. It really was.
That's amazing. I don't think I did find it, but I did want to say that, you know, that is part of the work, is that channeling of the essence of the person and like knowing them beyond the surface, you know. And Astara helped me with some of the channeling of some of the different things that came up in your guys' session, but she actually sent me the video and I watched it, and I got to really tap into that essence of who you are. And with all of the different totems that I've created, some people who are very close to me, some people who are not as close to me. And it's really about that trust of what's coming through, that special part about them that is all of us. And I think that's, you know, that's what is reflected, is you seeing me, seeing you as a reflection of you, as a reflection of me, and that kind of infinite duality and connection. And so it's such a joy to create my work because it creates itself through me, through the receiver, through the viewer, and it's so special. And Astara is showing some of my other totems that I've created. Oh
my God.
Totems. That's my totem I made for myself. My power animal is a bear. So I made this one.
We have a bear. We have a sun bear up here. I've always felt the bear energy. I've always been connected with the mama bear energy as well. Oh, here you go. Here. So you guys can see it a little bit better. And so if you want to stop the video at any point, you know, when on YouTube, you guys can see this really well. But
and we will be putting it on your website.
And I will put it on the website with the explanation as well. I actually thought I already had. I did put it on Facebook. So below is the medicine channeled and cemented into this animal totem. Wolf power animal, feminine strength and power, wolf pack, and the alpha omega beginning and end. Pyramid power, center in the third eye point. Third eye of the divine as a cord of information into the mind. Pharaoh's headdress. This is, and am I saying this right? Hatshepsut's. Hatshepsut. Anyway, Hatshepsut's headdress. She was one of the female pharaohs, and her name means foremost of noble woman, like a wise woman of her time, claiming her power. In the face and the forehead of Ranger, that's my beloved dog Ranger, he was with me from my very first video since I started YouTube, and my very first light language video, and a couple years prior to that. He has recently transitioned to over the Rainbow Bridge last December 26th of 2020. So many of you know my Ranger, has been in many of my videos, many of our hangouts, many of my hangouts. I still feel his presence constantly here. And he was an integral part of my awakening. He was an integral part of me being in the woods and connecting and beginning my light language channeling to begin with. And so the idea that you really honored him that way meant a lot to me.
And he sits where he is in the totem. That's where he sits with you. He sits right here near your heart, looking up at you, and it's just beautiful.
That was the last pictures I had on the way to the vet and the last pictures was him. He was under my chin and looking up at me, and it was exactly like you drew. It was very interesting. In the face of the forehead of Ranger, there are light code symbols from Wendy's website. Ranger, her guardian angel on earth, right there under her chin, whispering loving messages and helping her look to the sky and earth to hear his footprints wherever she walks. I couldn't have read that anytime sooner. I would have burst into tears. I'm telling you, I can't even take it. The Egyptian cats represent Bastet. And here we are, you guys. Look at what a beautiful day to see. I knew I had to wait till today to talk about this. The Egyptian cats represent Bastet, however, also represents fertility, feminine power, and the feline guardianship and protection. It was a cat that was responsible for me really making the decision I made to change my life completely and start a new life with Dave. And I've often called upon her in my journeys over the many years for her guidance and assistance. Dave grew up with cats. And so we feel a lot of that feline energy, that goddess, that feline goddess energy. We have depictions of the Egyptian stuff in our bedroom with these images. We've got little statues of these things. The Sirius starseed, channeled as the starseed representation of Wendy / galactic family / hybrid child, bringing peace, wisdom, knowing, and the beingness in all space and time through all dimensions. Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm just
Jody's here, Chelsea's here, and,
Jody
and Bree.
Kimberly.
Hi, Bree.
Hi. Oh, Bree. Brandy, Chelsea. Hi, everybody. Jody. Hey. Love you guys. Thanks for coming. And the deer is also my power animal. The deer, the rooted totem of sure-footedness, bringing light stepping foundation of 4 legs and the speed and agility to navigate through the thick of things. You are so not kidding, girl. Softness and stillness. That too. I need that softness and stillness as much as I need that energetic voice. And look at this beautiful feline in front of us. Look at that beautiful creature.
I just have to show him off for 1 second.
You should. I want you to. And I want to say hi to Fletcher. That's Bree's kitty cat. So the deer, okay, so behind the deer, peeking out, part of the Star of David, And we talked a little bit about the Star of David in many of these videos. When I first met Dave and I tapped into his energy, I had not met him yet in a video. And the first thing I drew was the Star of David.
Wow.
I had no idea who he was. I didn't know he was Jewish. I didn't know any of those things. And those are the first things that I saw, and several other things similar. Behind the deer, peeking out, part of the Star of David with sacred geography, and the sun, encoded solar power and ancient star energy, also representing Dave behind her as her warmth on her back and structure to hold her. I mean, seriously. I mean, come on. And then really, I'm like, by this time, I'm just sobbing. I can't even freaking read the email. And I'm just like, oh my God. I just was like, it's seriously to have someone see you that way. Oh, and you're in stripes again, my dear. You want me to move? I don't think we can move far enough to get you out of the stripes. Maybe here. You know what I mean? To not only see me that way, but articulate that, to express that in that way. I don't even know. I don't even think I could so eloquently and beautifully and extensively and purely explain or express myself in that way. I don't.
But you know what? When you do it in everything that you do, she's just creating it in a different way. So I think that's the whole thing about, like we touched on last time when you asked, you know, what does Ray do? And she was talking about creating from that place of reciprocity with the divine, with the earth mother. When you channel your artistic creations in that way, which is the same but different that you're channeling for people, you're doing it with your words, you're doing it with your light languages, light code activation, with your symbols. You do the same. You afford us the same grace of looking at us and articulating it in a way that we might not be able to. Yeah. So you are that magic and artistry.
Well, and this is what we all do for each other. And for you to just say those words, this is what we're really getting at with this whole new awakening and ascension and awareness and knowing thyself, is all of these things that we've been talking about today and all of this exchange right now. Not at all what we planned. Still didn't read what because it doesn't matter. Because this is what matters right now. Because
the sharing.
It's the sharing.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's always, always, always about the sharing. Maybe there's a gift exchange, a monetary exchange, but the exchange is the sharing. Plain and simple. And how many of us are so afraid that we're going to somehow diminish our own light or our own self-worth by saying such beautiful things about another person, yet what you just said, Astara, is exactly, I need to see that reflection too. I need to see that, to know that you see this, the both ways. I need to see that I am doing that also for the world in the ways that I'm afraid to own it or see or appreciate or value myself. We're so afraid to value ourselves.
And you know what's so funny? You saying that is so true, not to air out all my dirty laundry now, but I recently pretended I would go online dating just to see, you know, because where's my Dave? Like literally, where is he? And so I was like, well, how can I can be open and I can know that I'm open and I can actually know that I'm ready. But if I'm not leaving my apartment because I'm a turtle in my apartment, how does my Dave come knocking on my apartment door unless he's the grocery delivery guy? So, you know, and I do that not because I'm afraid to go out in the world, but I'm just always comfortable in my womb space, that temple of light that you guys have together. So I said, okay, let me pretend and do some online dating. And it was an interesting experience that we could actually do a whole live about that if you wanted. But my point, which we should talk actually, because it would actually be quite fun, Wendy, if we did do that. But my point is,
we should talk.
no, we should talk, is that I had a couple of gentlemen ask me questions about myself, which was lovely because they were asking really great questions. And I answered just matter-of-factly, and I kept getting, oh, aren't you modest? And I was like, well, what did you want me to say? Oh, actually, I'm a lowly piece of shit. Like, because I claimed who I am and my worth, and it's taken me years to be able to do that with authenticity, in a grounded, rooted truth, not saying what I think somebody wants me to say, not saying what I think I'm supposed to say, but actually speaking it as truth because I know it to be true. And then I literally got, well, aren't you modest? And I was like, I didn't say anything egotistical. I just said, I'm really good at what I do. And it took me a long time to be able to own that.
Exactly.
And so it's really interesting. No wonder people are afraid, Wendy, because even when you're coming from that place of grace and owning it, people are still uncomfortable with it.
Because we just
So-
reflect to them where they are not following their own high
That's
state
exactly-
excitement.
That's
And I
exactly.
will say to you guys again and again and again, I wouldn't have met Dave if I wouldn't have just been making videos. I was just making videos,
Mhm.
making videos.
Mhm.
I was not looking for anything. Although I will say my heart was. My heart was.
So also keep in mind, from a higher perspective, you decide that you want to be who you are and you want to live that way and display yourself that way in your own truth. You're going to get examples where people try to convince you, are you really sure you want to do that? And
Right.
it gives you the opportunity to stand in your truth.
Yes, and it did.
And pretty soon the right person,
Yeah.
may not be the final person, but someone closer to your vibration can then be attracted to you because you've proven who you are and that you're going to stand in your truth.
And now I want to cry again, like just because of the honesty and the resonance of your words. It's like,
Yeah.
And then I want to cry because I do feel that's why I was pretending. I'm saying that jokingly, like to online date. It was the perfect experience for me to understand in real life living that I had come as far as I've come.
Yeah.
I didn't get mad when that person said that. There was not one trigger in me. It was this, isn't that interesting? That was the response.
A good way to look at it is everyone is really you.
Yes.
The version
Yes.
of you. So it's you having a person come to you and say, are you really sure you want to be the person that you say? Because we
Oh
can.
my God, I love that. Thank you for that. I love
We
that.
can do that.
Again, now I want to cry. I'm just
I'm
like,
gonna give you an
it's
option.
the perfect way to word it. Wow. Thank you, both of you, always. Like, it's just like fireworks go off while we hang out together. Fireworks.
And I want to say to you guys too that
For us too.
I will say it again and again. We have our challenges. Our lives are not perfect. This is not all sunshine and pretty and roses all the time.
No.
But yet, the communication and the dedication to each other and to him to me about expressing myself the way I need to express myself, no matter how that is, even if it means screaming at the top of my lungs for that minute. It's not about tolerance. It's about literally wanting to experience this, all of it. And that is what my heart, my true core vibration was sending out all my life. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? We're sending out that beacon of the person who, and I want to say something else too, really quick here, that something yesterday that Dave and I came across, and it's reminding me now too, there are so many versions of love, and there's so many versions of expressions of gender that we're running out of letters, folks. So it's all the same. It's just love.
It is.
It's just
It is.
love. So if you come home in a suit and tie and you want to take that shit off and dress in a goddess outfit and paint your face and go to the grocery store, please do, because somebody's waiting to see you, either to trigger something in them that they're going to be like, they're either going to be triggered or they're, which good, good, or they're going to be like, oh my God, I freaking love you. Doesn't matter what gender you're playing, because the right person is going to respond. The right gender expression for you is going to respond. So it doesn't matter what you are, what you're wearing, how you express yourself in the day. Do you express yourself as a man, as a woman, different times of day, different, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You know, you're a man, you dress like a woman, vice versa, doesn't matter. But you gotta do what you gotta do, because if you don't, you're not gonna find that person who's waiting for your beacon. They can't find you because it's behind a mask.
Yeah.
Literally.
I like that one.
But, and this is what, you know, so there's so many different ways that we can express true love and our true core vibration, that we put it out there, but then when it comes down to manifesting it in this physical reality, the belief systems right away start to creep in about, you know, all of those things. So like you said about pretend dating, I think probably what you're going to realize is that, like we all do, yes, it could be that one day you are guided to go on a dating site, and guess what? You meet the love of your life. Doesn't mean you're not going to find it there. But the point is until you're just yourself doing what you do, beating your own drum and having no insistence, that's when the right person's going to come. You know? Absolutely. So there's so much, of course, more that we can say about this. And I'm so happy the turn, you know, that these conversations take so organically. Because you can't plan. I mean, look at this. Have we even pulled a goddess deck card today yet at all?
No, but we'll get us started. Before, when we were waiting for you with the technology snafu, we did an impromptu Instagram live waiting for you. And we did pull a card, and I'll just share it with you. And then you need to pull a bunch of cards. Okay. So it was for the collective. And I can't remember, do you have this deck?
So I have, no, that one I do not have.
Okay, well, I love this deck.
So good, I'm glad, because I've got a couple different ones here, 2 different goddess cards. So I'm looking to see which ones, and I am going to pull an Isis one as well.
For the Isis, okay, good.
Of course, we are dedicating today to her.
We pulled the Coventina card, and it's purification. Right. And so this was for the collective. What do we need right now? Purification. Well, surprise, surprise, we're getting it whether people like it or not, right? The whole ascension process is about purification of the physical form. So really, it's the emphasis of the things that we are putting into our body right now, whatever that means for us, is actually not just negatively impacting our physical form, but it's actually polluting our psyche as well. And what we've already talked about today, our thoughts create our reality. So if we're putting things into our physical body that are affecting our mind, then we're polluting our mind, and that information and vibration gets sent into the rest of our body, our energetic, our emotional, our spiritual self. So there's really, the divine wants this emphasis right now, and it all ties into what you've been talking about today with honoring the God and the goddess, doing the small things, creating that triangle, sharing the world, expressing your creativity through whatever form that is, but taking a conscious, concerted effort to really care about what you're putting into your body. Because joy is what's being affected. There is a lack of joy. And the card tied into everything we talked about, didn't even share it with you yet. So world, please focus on purification. That's what we have.
Said that too. On these cards, you can see this beautiful, I always wonder what exactly this is. If it's like it's like the scarab, but it's a bee. It's on the back of the Isis card.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys can tell me exactly what that image is, please do. So today primarily now we burn only beeswax candles. So something you just said about the bee and purification, honey, the honeycomb, the hexagonal shape, the sacred geometry behind it, the fact that they pollinate our food, and we eat the honey, and the honeycomb is useful. It's an antibacterial. There's all this other I was reading a book, and I told Dave the other day, I was reading a book called The Shamanic Way of the Bee. I never finished it. I was reading it in a group with just a group of people, and we would just get together in a hangout like this in private and just read the book together. Amazing freaking book. I haven't finished it yet. It makes me want to start over again. But it reminded me of that, the shaman, the bee, the bee itself and the queen bee has also always been associated with God and goddess energy. And then we think about how we're able to utilize all the things it produces. And so and honey and water together, you could pretty much live on. It's really close to being like the perfect food, like, for example. So there was something to be said about that for whatever reason, about the bee. And of course, springtime being up here in the Northern Hemisphere, we rely on them for our food. So honoring them and purification, honey purifies. It purifies your skin. It purifies your body inside. You can use it on your face. You can use it in your hair. You can use it on I use it for bug bites. Dave just brought me, we're going to do a whole nother, actually, I think I would like to invite you to this as well, you ladies, because I want to get into a little bit more about what we touched on about plant medicine.
Yes.
And Dave and I want to expand a little bit about some of the things that I've learned since meeting him about this 4 herb that anyway, there's more to be said about that. And of course that subject is inexhaustible, but specifically, and so I'm being reminded about this, like what you said about putting in your body and on your body. And so I was reminded about that, about the bee and about this 4 herb stuff that we've been. So he brought me some a few minutes ago.
Asaic.
That's what you're putting on. I saw it. Okay.
Because I've got all these like little bug bites on my arm just from sleeping outside, but for some reason it's been this really weird thing with my arm. You guys really can't see anything. It's just like it's like a rash or something. But anyway, so I've been working with my guides on this. Serious to God. What are you trying to show me? What am I missing? What am I itching to do that I'm not doing? And I do this all, and I'm telling, I wish it would just stop. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it itches unmercifully. As soon as I put that 4 herb on, or honey, or even apple cider vinegar, it stops. So there's a message here for me. I'm not quite. Clearly I haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, could it be that we had this idea about having videos about herbal
stuff, and maybe that's why we're talking, right? So as I'm scratching, So he's like, and I just put a little dot on a paper towel and just rub it on. And I'm telling you guys, the itching stops immediately. And it's just a combination of herbs. Anyway, so we had talked about recently in the last week or two, doing a video about more of those types of things as well. So,
Yes.
And I know that's right up you guys' alley. So
it is. We love it.
Oh yes.
One other thing I will say about honey, Ray and I last year did a lovely workshop with a woman, and she brought a teaching that I'll share with you because I found it so beautiful, was to every day, as we're talking about this idea of purification and honoring the bees and that medicine, to take a tiny scoop of honey and put it in your mouth with the intention of sweetening your words.
Mhm.
So when we talk about, right, purifying the thoughts,
oh my
we need to
God.
purify the speech as well. I knew you would love this. Sweetening our words, how we talk to ourselves, how we talk to others.
Oh, where is it? I did one of these things the other day.
Okay.
As exactly that. Speak softly, sweetly.
There you go.
Self. Where are you using victim vocabulary?
See? Right. There you go. I'm getting chills.
Oh my God. It was all about speaking sweetly to yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Michaela said that to me this morning. Why is it that you all want to focus on what you believe is an inadequacy?
Mm-hmm.
When your uniqueness is your perfection? We all hear this a million times, but are we living it?
Right.
Queen of Heaven, blessing from the divine Empress of the skies.
Beautiful.
I love this headdress too. Look at her headdress. Does it look like Ray? Look at Ray's head.
It does. Look, we're identical.
Are you kidding me?
It looks like amber too, like red sap resin.
I mean, really, that's that's so crazy. So that was the Isis deck. I just want to show everybody. Alana Fairchild. So I've got a couple of different ones here, and I'm just going. Okay, so this one is Colette Baron Reed, the Goddess Power Oracle. So again,
I've got that one.
You have that one. Do you have that one?
Yeah, I've got like the large format size. It's beautiful.
I think this is going to be my new Tai Chi workout.
Your new Tai Chi outfit, is that, did you decide that you're gonna, yeah. We were discussing Tai Chi the other day, and I don't think so.
I don't know. Tai Chi.
And the back of the cards are the crescent moons.
Triple goddess.
And then the tree of life. The Celtic knots inside.
Did you just pull this card?
I sure did.
Of course.
Queen of Heaven, baby. Yeah. Ha! Jody Reiki me. She says Jody says she just ordered some honey. And Manuka. And Manuka honey, you guys. Manuka honey.
Oh yeah.
Talk about magic in a jar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know anything about Manuka honey till I met Dave. Swear. Didn't even know it existed. It's like a thing. And then they mix it with colloidal silver.
Oh, wow.
What a miraculous freaking combination. I'm telling you, man, the stuff is magic. I'm telling you, you guys, we have everything we need on the planet.
Yeah.
We just don't even know what we don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
Devotion, Parvati. And she's got, what the heck? Now this, and the number is 42. Now, many of these goddesses in this deck, I do not know at all. So I'm always eager to learn more about some of these goddesses that I want to say lesser known, but that we don't always know or to embrace. And let's See, that's from this one. I want to see, let's see, 42. I wanted to see if
I
there's
think
any.
Parvati is a Hindu goddess.
Is that what it is? I was
I
wondering
think so.
because I see that she's 42. Isn't that what the answer to life?
It is, but we just saw that number yesterday.
We just saw, where did we see that? 42. It was on something else that we read. Empowerment message. So it's about devotion. True commitment comes from wholehearted living in body, mind, and spirit.
Well, here we go.
That's
Yep.
correct.
Okay.
When the Hindu goddess Parvati rises up to greet you, she is acknowledging you for your sincere devotion to personal growth.
Mhm.
That's why we're here today, because this is our sincere, it is our devotion to our own growth. And you may tap into these videos and see that we're dressed up like gods and goddesses, but truly it is our true devotion to our spiritual growth that we know ourselves better through this play, through our understanding that we have all been creating movies and television and theater, books, all of it. We're the scribes of source. We are the scribes in the stories of source, period. And the archetypes of Isis and Tote are about the beginning of expression, of light into sound, into writing, into scribes, into teaching. And so all of this is about this. With the world in so much turmoil. Now, when was this written? With the world in so much turmoil, I guess, or when isn't it, right? It's not easy to devote yourself to higher knowledge and a strong faith. But if you are here to serve others, by being a bearer of love, compassion, and light, you must recommit yourself every day as unwavering in your devotion as Parvati was to Shiva and her goal of bringing peace to the world. Parvati asks that you find silently in daily meditation to contemplate your devotion as well as your commitment to all life and to making this world a better place. The great goddess is present when you renew your devotion and make that relationship primary above all else. In all areas of your life, your every choice will be in alignment and in service to this truth. When the goddess Parvati comes to visit, as she did with us today here, it is a beautiful sign that you are on the right track. So for all of you that are looking and watching or stepping in or stopping by or watching this later, everything is now, these messages are for all of us and for you now. You are on the right track. You cannot be off your track, because if you are in this vibration, in this hangout, watching this, you are on the path to committing to your spiritual growth, because that is the vibration in which these sacred spaces are created for each other. The goddess Parvati comes now to offer help, because blind faith in others isn't serving you, and devotion to something undeserving may be showing up in your life. Ask yourself, why are you so committed to someone or something you know deep down will fail you? Are you afraid of seeing things as they are? What if you let go and allow the higher force to guide you to the right people, places, and things that are in your highest good? Can you remember when the devotion to this ultimate spiritual partnership was reciprocated? Consider what happens when you place your attention only on money, status, ambition, and power. The world becomes narrow, and you lose connection to the higher existence and your greater good. The goddess Parvati offers the alignment task. Get your spiritual life in order. Make prayer and meditation part of your daily routine, just as we were discussing about the men and the women who said to the men, you guys work all day. On the weekends, you're doing stuff around the house, you're fixing things, you're doing other things. You male men also need to take time for devotion and commitment to your spiritual growth. And the women wanted the men to honor this within themselves, that it is not just about being a woman and listening to the innate within you and instincts. We all have them. This offers the men the opportunity to take that time to remind themselves about their own devotion and connection to their source, their God, and then to bring that wisdom, serenity, peace, love, compassion into their family. The goddess Parvati reminds you that you are so loved and cherished. And I skipped over a little bit, but that's okay. So that is really one of the main reasons we do these also, is to remind ourselves and all of you guys that you're supported, you're loved, you're cherished, and that you are gods and goddesses, and that to look around you in your books and your movies, and why do you resonate with certain things, certain superheroes, certain god and goddess archetypes? Why do we resonate with it? Because it's a part of our oversoul. Aww.
I'm just showing more of Ray's
I love it.
creation.
I love it that you're showing. See, I love show and tell. Are you kidding?
That's my kitty Chocomole with his wizard hat on.
I love that. Oh, Stefano. Oh my God, his wizard hat.
Oh yeah.
I love these.
And then she also made, we tried to set it up so everything, like Ray has made everything in
I
all
love this so much. I love that. I love that you made that. I was going to ask you about that wall hanging behind you.
It's called shameless promotion. Okay. Here's a painting of Chocomole. Here's a painting of her rabbit.
And then this is a 3D, like a real life totem that I made for my dad, which has a big bee on it, by the way.
That's a bee right there. And there's the sacred geometry. And then here's a ritual bowl for my shamanic work that Ray made me. So I just want everybody to know how multidisciplinary she is. Yes, she made you the beautiful digital art, but Ray also makes, things in all shapes and sizes. Just, here's my totems, and I already showed, but I'll show you.
Make sure you guys send me the information and post it. Oh my God, an owl. We were just having a whole owl discussion yesterday.
See?
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday. And I'll show this guy again. See?
So make sure
again, ceramic.
Oh, did you guys? Oh, you did your first ceramic class the other day. How'd it go?
Oh my God, it was amazing, Wendy.
Oh,
and like after we leave you two today, we're going to be finalizing our virtual one. So then we'll invite you to the first virtual one to participate in. So it has to be modified a little bit, but it's okay. And it's going to be great. And we would love to have you two come along.
I would be honored to be there. Are you kidding? I'm so excited. And I was so excited about you guys even thinking about doing it. And make sure that people who are watching know how to find you if they want you to, make something, commission something for them. I mean, all of this beautiful work. This is one of the reasons I love doing these videos, these hangouts, is because I want to embrace the gods and goddesses in all of you, tell people who you are, where you are, what you do, and embrace what excites you, and help us all live amazing, abundant lives doing the things that we love.
Yes, I agree.
Even you just holding the bowl gave me chills.
It's honestly, it is one of my favorite things.
Yes.
It's so gorgeous.
I mean, I could just feel like my sage burning in it, and the energy that you and your love, your connection, the clay, the touching, your DNA is in the clay.
Mhm.
Every
Wow.
time, guys, every time we exchange something, especially physical form, when we send each other things, your DNA's in there.
Mm.
We're touching each other.
Mm.
We're embracing each other. We're apart, even though none of us are disconnected in any way, shape, or form. This adds a whole nother layer of sharing.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing, like you are, when I'm doing, say, symbols, I just opened up a page, for example. So if I do symbols for someone, I'm touching the paper, I'm drawing with my ink, and whether or not they're touching the piece of paper or not, it's an energetic exchange. Just like your digital artwork,
Yeah.
you're in it. Your love, your energy, your DNA, you guys, let me just clarify this for just a second from the guides here. DNA is not physical.
Mm.
It is an energetic stamp. It is a recording of color in a certain pattern that belongs to you. It's energy. It's not a physical something that is just in your cells, in your blood. Because remember, your body is in your consciousness. Your consciousness created your body. Your body did not create your consciousness. So everything that you do with your body that shares, even these conversations they're telling me, contains our DNA. Where's it going? And it's going into everything. Well, if we're all attached and there's nowhere for anything to go that's outside of creation, where's it going? Into everything and all that is. So literally your DNA energetic signature, how does an image that's digital make a person cry? Because it's what went into it.
Yes.
So I'd like to take a moment to say hello to
Yes.
all our multidimensional
Yes.
friends.
Physical,
all around,
non-physical, all of you.
Because this show is for you too.
And I don't want to keep us too much longer. I know we're getting late on time. I told Dave we got a late start today. So I did tell him I didn't want to go real late, real long. Because I encourage people to watch these, and I know when they're an hour or too long, we don't always have time, but this is another time to watch these things. And sometimes we have to watch them in little pieces, and that's okay. And I honor and I love you guys for how many moments you come by and pop in and say hello and bring your love, bring your energy, send a comment, be in the chat. All of you are exchanging your DNA with all of us.
This is for you. You know who you are.
And you know who you are. and so even Dave and I are exploring more and more, as we've been explaining a little bit in our videos, about how we started. Dave was inspired one day to start a YouTube channel called Open Contact TV. Right. About exploring more of opening contact with ourselves, with our God and goddesses selves, and how does knowing thyself more fully accelerate and appreciate the creation of a physical reality in which we here on earth are embracing the exchange of beings from other worlds that we have no idea what they look like. And this is the practice, guys. This is the practice. Dressing up, being silly, looking weird, all those things that you make, Ray, they are an energy, a thing, a being. It's a thing. So all of these things are in these sharings. That's what this is about, because if we cannot learn to love and accept ourselves in all of our true colors and each other, and when we're triggered by each other, when we see something weird that makes us feel weird, why? It's got nothing to do with the other person. Nothing. Nothing. Why are you having the reaction? What do you need to look at? Why did your higher self bring you into that moment to experience that? So that's what you need to ask yourselves out there is, why do I judge that thing I just saw? Why? What do I feel? What am I judging about myself in some way that I'm not loving and embracing in myself, that person just showed me that I don't want to see, like a neon sign? And then what do? Oh my God, I don't like that person. Get away from me because you are too shiny and amazing. And so we walk away and then we go in our room and we try to figure out why we can't have that. Well, sure you can. And again, I will say our lives are not rosy peaches all the time. No. We work very, very, very hard physically as well as spiritually.
Mhm.
I barely let Dave talk today. He's used to it though. He chimes in when I need, when I need to make a point or ground my point or something.
We're on the same wavelength.
We are in the same
So I don't need to say much.
No, he doesn't. And that's true. And I always know too, when he has something to say, I feel it, I know, or he touches me and I know that there's something he needs to express. And I just love this whole thing. And this is why I love what I do. And even when the butterflies come and you get nervous and you think, oh my God, technology and things are going wrong. And you know what, guys, shit happens. It just does. Life happens when you're making plans. Keep your plan open to have a plan to change your plan. That's it. Just be okay with changing the plan. And then everything's easy. Everything's easy. I told Dave last night, do not let me fall asleep in front of the fire outside because I'm going to be too tired tomorrow and I've got a live event. Gosh darn it. And what did I do? I fell asleep outside in front of the fire and woke up all night long, tossing and turning, and he's putting on another log and I'm waking up. And then of course the sun starts to rise and it's like, whatever, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I'm like, what am I doing? Why did I do that?
Wait a second. Didn't we agree that it wasn't until 3, so we'll have plenty of time to be ready?
That's true. That's why we said we're okay. Even if and yes,
We got to see another sunrise.
I got to see a beautiful another sunrise, starting a fire, having our coffee again there, coming off of Earth Day, and eating our beautiful soup last night. It was a wonderful night. And even waking up in the middle of the night and hearing him put another log on the fire. And I'm like, should we go to bed? Should we actually go in bed? And we're like, no, it's like, and here we are uncomfortable. But you know what? Oh my God, it feels so good to sleep outside if you can, weather permitting, I know. But this is one of the reasons why I moved somewhere warmer so I can do these things. Don't let that be an excuse though. As soon as you're comfortably able to do what you can to get outside, and I'm telling you guys, sleeping outside, and we're just on nothing fancy. We just threw on some whatever cushions from our lounge chair cushions. We laid them on the ground, threw some blankets down, threw some pillows down, and had our soup, roasted some marshmallows. Well, I think we forgot and woke up at like 2 a.m. and said, oh, do you want a marshmallow? And then didn't we have tea?
Then we had tea.
I think we had tea about 3:30 or something like that. And so then, fell asleep for a little while longer. And then it was like about 6 o'clock. I think I woke up and said, I'm making coffee. Coffee. So, do you guys think we're any less spunky?
No.
We're more exciting than
or even more. And I said, you know what? I actually feel better because I was sore the last couple of days. I started moving in some more of my belongings out of the storage facility. So I've been you know, just moving things around and unpacking and looking at you know, some of my old just stuff and but it's that good tired. It's that good sore where you're excited. It's new beginnings, like, you know, redecorating a room and knowing that we are going to be creating amazing, magical things in this room and moving the furniture around 100 times until we get it just the way we want it in the house and
do it all again.
And do it all again, you know. And I'm one of these people, I'm weirdly like, I like moving furniture around. So it's not uncommon for you to come home after he's only been gone for a couple of hours and things are just rearranged. So hey, rearrange your life. Maybe you need to rearrange the way you go to work. Like maybe you need to rearrange what you're doing every day and how you're doing it. Maybe you need to rearrange what you believe about yourself to be true, or rearrange your spiritual routine. Mix it up a little. Mix it up a little. And tonight we're gonna have some fresh just veggies and stuff, and pita and hummus for dinner, and gonna spend some time having the wine blessing with his dad on the phone tonight for Shabbos, and celebrating the day of rest tomorrow, honoring the gods and goddesses in us all, lighting a candle just for yourself. You know, I want to say, you guys, the very beginning when I started waking up many, many years ago, before finding ETs, before finding channel, not that I've always believed in ETs, I've always believed in aliens. I'm like, yeah, it's finally about time. I know that everybody gets on board. To me, it's like, how could there not be? But before I even found any of those things, my intention was to know myself more fully, to understand why I have self-doubt, beliefs that do not serve me, why I was still in physical pain. If I understand that all pain is resistance to your true core vibration, meaning you're not doing what you love every day. Physical pain is always about that. I was in massive amounts of physical pain, so I knew. So what I started doing every morning before work, I lit a candle and I said, angels, I want to connect with you and I want to understand who I am. I want to understand who you are. I want to understand, how do I create my own reality by the way I think and how I believe about what's possible? How is that true? How do I stop blaming everyone else, everywhere else, every boss, every authoritative figure, myself, my partner, my children, everybody, educators, the people, the world? Stop blaming everybody for being unhappy and figure out, why are you unhappy? And so that's how I started connecting with the angels. And all of a sudden, you guys, I started understanding things about my DNA. I started understanding things about empowering myself. I started getting messages. I started hearing things. I started channeling, listening for the answers, not just begging for the answer, but saying, thank you. Thank you for showing me what I need to know, not, oh my God, please send me the best job and the perfect person, the perfect place, and what's wrong with me? And what am I doing wrong? It's like, no, that's not empowering. That's not empowering. That's the opposite of empowering. That's looking for someone else to tell you or show you or be something for you, to give you something that you can only find in here. And so I finally began to understand there is no medicine that's going to take away this pain anymore. And
My turn to pull a card.
Serpent of Fire, Priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood. Well, here we are.
Isis, Priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood and Queen of the Serpent of Fire, guides you through transformation. Now, as your energy field grows stronger and old energies are burned away in the process of your growth.
I lean in right when it comes.
Trust that you are growing and are more capable than you have been previously. Do not access your current ability based on past standards, as they no longer apply to you. You are stronger and more powerful now than you have been before. You need to learn afresh what you are capable of, and Isis helps you now.
Well, and the fact that you have your little serpent bowl, how fitting is that Dave would pull the serpent?
The serpent headpiece.
Well, I also have.
Oh, and you've got serpent earrings? Oh, what is that?
Yeah, it's a snake.
Oh, awesome.
The serpent headpiece of Isis represents this inner fire serpent, or kundalini, as it rises in accordance with the spiritual growth and empowerment. This happens when the time is right and we are ready.
And look at the two in the background, you guys, the sisterhood. See the two sisters in the background? Look at
Wow.
And if I am correct.
yes, it's on the headpiece. Look.
Oh.
Oh.
The crowd goes wild.
So, all of you out there, maybe you need to look up the serpent or the snake totem.
Yes.
Look up what that animal means to you. What does it mean to all of us? What does it mean to your spiritual awakening? What does it mean to you as not embracing your own God and goddess? See, and that beautiful piece that you made, see? This is what we're talking about. There's a reason why these things are brought up today.
Yeah.
For all of you watching. So the messages for all of you, to you, the collective, you personally, to us collectively. What does it mean to us, Dave and I? We're going to be exploring more of this too. I'm going to be looking up in some of my animal decks, my spirit animal decks. What does that snake mean? What does the serpent mean? And what does it mean to me?
And I'll share with you that when the reason why Ray made this for me, when I first started working shamanically, Wolfe, this is how you and I have the connection of Wolfe. Wolfe showed up on my right side, always, walking with me, doing shamanic work in non-ordinary reality. Took a little bit of a pause, got back into it again, started working with another mentor. And the first power animal that showed up for me was serpent and snake. And she showed up on my left side, on my shoulder in my journeys. And when I started really feeling it out and understanding and working with both of them, I said, she, Wolfe is he always was he. I didn't have to ask. I just knew it was masculine energy. And then along came my divine feminine energy of serpent. And so now I work with the balance of the divine feminine and the masculine. So for me, serpent really is the yin feminine energy. It is the receiving, it is goddess, and it's the honoring of that and the remembering of that. And then also the other thing that was shown to me when snake came along was, because snakes slither on the ground, they see things from a different perspective. And it's the reminder to me to see things from a different perspective. And you already said today, perspective. It's like, so I don't know if that helps anybody. This is what this medicine is. But yeah.
Absolutely. Everything we share is for that someone needs to hear. And this is another thing, you guys, if you think what you have to say is not important, and think again. Mm-hmm. I cannot tell you, swear to God, how many times I say to Dave, oh, it's 555 right now, our time. 555.
555. 555.
I've said to Dave so many times, why am I doing this? Is this really important? I could turn everything off tomorrow and the world would just be fine without me and I could just live my life and blah, blah, blah. But yet I know if I have something to share, it's because someone else needs to hear it. Or that someone needs to learn and grow. And then I turn off the camera and I learn and grow. He learns and grows. We learn and grow together. And the creations that are made when we do these webinars, and I meet every single one of you. Beverly, we met in webinar. How long ago was that the first, it's like now we're just all friends. This is who we are. This isn't just, us coming in a Zoom room and hanging out. No, we're literally friends outside of this. We correspond with each other. We talk about our highs and our lows, our weird dreams, our synchronicities, our tears, our frustrations, things that even Dave and I go through in our day-to-day life. You know, our situation is very unique, and caring for a quadriplegic and the needs that are required, and the attention, as you see Dave getting up a lot. For those of you who don't know, he has to get up. He has to weight shift AJ in his chair, in his wheelchair, and bring him in and out from outside if it gets too hot. And so there's a routine and a schedule, but yet embracing, and many times I admit I've looked at this from the negative part of, you know, looking at what we can't do instead of what we can do, which is this today. This is what I'm supposed to be doing and blooming where I'm planted, because for whatever reason, my higher self and we have agreed to walk down a hallway together. We may not know what that hallway looks like. We may not know what to expect as we open the doors, but Dave and I want to open all the doors. We want to dance and sing down the hallway. Sometimes I'm crawling and crying. Sometimes I'm slobbering, feeling sorry for myself. Because that's what's being human.
But open the doors we do.
But open the doors we do. And that's what, you know, when we take off the costumes and we put our elastic waist pants back on and go sit in front of the fire and have our dinner, we're going to be talking about this and feeling all of you and being excited for this exchange forevermore, or until we do it again, because everything's now. But even the ripple effect, even I have a vision board that I was showing Dave all the little pieces that I had taken apart of my vision board, and I kept all the pieces. And one of them was just a cutting out of a magazine, and it said that to, you know, live passionately and live in the moment. And I forgot what else I was going to say about that, but anyway, but about express yourself, and even that, be expressive. There was another part of that. I forgot what I was going to bring up about that, but about my vision board. But I have to say that as we're going through all the pictures yesterday on my vision board, I've pretty much manifested like everything on it. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I'm like looking at it and I'm like, shit, like I actually manifested this stuff. It's kind of funny.
Wendy?
Yes.
Before we go, I had a download yesterday, and two things that came out were the Ankh was shown to me, and also Isis. So you've read the card of Isis, but they want you to read the card. I'm getting the Ankh. You need to say something about
that. You are so weird, Beverly. I told Dave this morning, swear to God, cross my heart, I said to Dave, they told me today I have to talk about the Ankh. I have to mention it. I have to say something about it. I have to say what it is. So, I mean, I told him that. Well, we'll find the card.
I got a whole download of Egyptian writing.
See how connected we all are, you guys, and how connected that literally, I heard it this morning. Here, wait, Key of Life. Spinning the, here, is this the, I don't know if this is the Key of Life, spinning the Ankh, the Key of Life. I told Dave, and I said to Dave, now I've never worn this particular necklace. He bought this necklace for me. We have Ankhs all over the house, Ankhs, whatever. I have never worn this necklace before, and I said, I have to wear this. They told me we need to discuss this. Here's the close-up.
The Key of Life in the mysterious Ankh, the looped cross held in the hand of Isis. This mystery is opening to you now. The Ankh portends new life being born through you now. It could be in a creative sense, a physical sense, in terms of health, or even a child that wishes to be born, or a new project that needs to be created in service to humanity. This new life being born in whatever form will enrich your life, bringing you more into wholeness and fulfillment. Let it happen.
Awesome.
I'm just seeing here.
Oh, there's a picture of it too.
Yeah, the ritual of the Ankh. Well, here's the.
Oh, that's a really, he's got a big giant one. Yeah.
That's what they showed me. They're just the picture of the Ankh.
So I'm going to read the ritual of the Ankh. I don't think we ever read this before. You'll need a paper and some colored pens or pencils. Allow yourself to choose whatever colors feel right for you and draw the Ankh similar to the one pictured, but large enough to fill at least an A4 page. You can draw it plain or pattern, but leave enough space to write within the loop at the top of the Ankh. When the Ankh is colored to your liking, you can write whatever dreams or awareness you have of the life that is seeking to be born through you, either in words or pictures, using the openness inside of the looped hook at the top of the Ankh as your sacred frame. If you're not sure what is happening, but have an idea of what you would like to give birth to, add that to your central image. It might be very detailed or very simple. What is most important is that there's a sense of love behind what you add at the top of the Ankh.
Well, it's funny too, talking about a vision board, you know, creating.
The Eye of Ra is up here, Isis. I'm looking at this.
And I forgot what this staff thing is. I always forget the name of that thing.
DNA. Right. The empty space within the loop at the top of the Ankh is a psychic container for the ritual practice. It becomes the womb of Isis and will co-create with you the unfoldment of your highest destiny. What is in your heart is the seed of your highest destiny. The form of how it appears may change, but whatever it is that you love, loves you, and is seeking to come into life through your experience in some way. This ritual deepens the conscious connection between the forces that are seeking to be born through you and your own awareness. Placing these forces within the womb of Isis, in the Ankh, brings psychic stability and spiritual protection to those creations, which will help them be birthed with greater ease in fullest form and with the most joy possible. If you wish to add uplifting pictures or drawings outside the inner circle, knows that these will also be energized by the Ankh, but the strongest protection is within the loop.
Oh.
When you're finished with your task, you may like to place your picture in a journal or leave it in a sacred space where you can gaze at it after meditation or prayer. Enjoy the divine support for the life being born through you now.
That's awesome. And we have them everywhere. And I was actually looking at, I can't really move my chair back, but we have the jewelry or the jewel box thing, and on the front of that is also an Ankh. So, and I was even, for those of you who might remember, that cartoon.
Roses, Rose?
No, the cartoon, Kenny.
Oh,
the
South
Ankh.
Park.
South Park. Kenny's an Ankh. Why would Kenny be an Ankh? Why? Why is Kenny an Ankh? It's like,
because he's killed and reborn.
I always see every episode. He's like, right? So isn't that kind of a funny message too? So yeah, so see, totally worth bringing up, Beverly. See why you have to, that's why you have to go with your instincts and say what, and share, because I got the same message. I told Dave, swear to God, and they wanted to tell people to pay more attention to the Ankh. And that exercise, along with like drawing the sacred circuits yourself, just drawing them, that literally anchors this energy in. And I was even telling the last time we were talking about the clay and the clay projects, and you guys already know that no matter what you put, images, drawn symbols in the clay, the snake that you made, anything that you create from that clay, becomes a whole nother part of you, and literally a message to someone. And you're a part of that. And so it carries that energy. And so we see that all the time. I mean, anyway, that's a whole nother subject, but I was thinking about what Jody said too, about that she's got the tattoo. We were talking about tattoos earlier and expressions. And I would guess, Jody, if you're still there, I would guess that that's one of the, this is one of the reasons we do these things and put them on our bodies. You see a lot of people now literally tattooing galactic symbols and sacred scripts. And now people have been doing that sort of thing for millennia, right? As far as, placing these images in ink on our skin permanently. We've been doing that a long, long time. Yet this gives that, it tells us one more layer of why we give ourselves permission to be these gods and goddesses. Because now every time that Jody looks at it, or knowing that she did, the intention behind putting it on her body was very specific, I'm sure, about because of what that image and that symbol represents.
I'm just, for some reason, it sort of made me think of it, but I'm just looking to see if I got an email about something that I'm waiting for. And the first email on the list is about Cryon, from the Cryon email list. And I was just thinking to say moments before that about just the idea of when you create things. One of the stories Cryon talks about when he explains the idea of multidimensionality is humans write a story and they type on the typewriter. And as they're typing the story, it punches, with the old typewriters, it punches the letters one at a time, the paper moves, and then you read the story in a linear fashion. What we really are as multidimensional beings is we have a typewriter and it just keeps pounding the letter on top of one another. But from a multidimensional standpoint, you could read the whole story, even though it's now just a big blot of ink. And you could start in the beginning, you could start at the end, but it's always the whole story. And I'm just thinking about Ray with her creations and the idea of even drawing things in the Ankh in a circular pattern. And of course, the infinity symbol with energy continuously flowing and crossing over each other. And of course, also the different perspectives of Wendy's light language symbols and other symbols that people draw, that all from different perspectives. You could look at an object and turn it one way and it looks like an ink blot, and then you turn it just a little bit and all of a sudden it's a whole story.
Yes.
Now I drew this many, many years ago, and somebody said to me, wow, that looks like a map or a star map or a story, or, so these are going to mean different things to different people. But the point that what Dave made me think of was when the sacred circuitry still first came out from Bashar, and there's you can use them. I mean, there's videos that you could purchase and download, but these images are free on the internet to download. But what he said, and what I've been guided to tell people too with my own symbols, is draw them or trace them with your fingers. If you recreate these and drawing them, it literally changes the circuitry in your brain. That's why they're talking about using that as an art project for the Ankh. It literally changes the circuitry in your brain to facilitate these things that we're talking about. So he said originally, if you can, draw them yourself. Doesn't matter how big, how small. The act of drawing it literally, physically on a piece of paper changes the dynamic. Oh, ripple effect. That's what I wanted to say earlier. The ripple effect. I have a piece of paper that I cut out from a vision board that says ripple effect, because we don't understand the ripple effect we have when we share things. That's what they wanted to say earlier. So with this, they said to draw them. And so I put one on each page at the time, and then, as many of you know, I would start sharing them in videos and things, and telling people about it, and, creating a whole really video around one idea. So this is express. So today is number 14, which is connect, and number 5 is express. So because you had 1 and 5, 1 and 4 equals 15. So I think, wait, did I add that? Yes. 23, no, 5, 15. I'm sorry. It equals 15 today. My apologies. No, 14, 5, 23, 5. I'm sorry. Every day this month, the whole date equals the date. So today's the 23rd, which equals 5. The whole date equals 5 today. So that's the whole point. So, which equals 14. So the symbol for connect, 14 is connect. And then if you add that together, it's 5, which is express. So that's what they say to me, is like, tell a story about how, and then I opened to connect. So the symbol for 14 is connect, and the symbol for 5 is express. So then they say to me, how is it that expressing yourself helps you connect? And how is it that connecting with other people helps you express yourself? And how does these help us connect with our DNA, with our ET and our star families? It's all interconnected. So by drawing it, you literally activate the intention and the permission to say, I want more. I want more connections to these are from Sirius, the Sirius star system. I want more connections to my Sirius star family. I want more connections. If I draw the Ankh, I want to know the power and tap into the power and the knowledge that that image represents. So by drawing it, by having that exercise, you're literally setting your actual intention by making an acting. You're literally creating an act that sets the intention, that says to your higher self, I want more. I want more expansion. I want more knowledge. I want to know more about me. I want to know more about my world. I want to know more about why I'm holding on to negative beliefs that are keeping me from living the life I love.
So I would like to close.
So yes, we need to close. We need to go.
By mentioning one other thing. And that is all of these things that we're talking about, and the Ankh is a perfect example, as well as the Sirius symbols, that from a higher perspective, there is a collective agreement that certain things would be shortcuts, permission slips. The Ankh is one of those. We don't really understand how it works, what it is, but it's built in to our system to allow the energy to operate a certain way without us having to understand it. We just have to use it using our imagination. Once we're aware of it, it's available to us. Just like the lasso of truth of Wonder Woman. It's in our awareness. We can use it if we want, because collectively, everyone knows that Wonder Woman has the lasso of truth, and you could use it and get the truth. The sacred symbols are an example that they were gifted to us because we had no way of knowing what they were, but it's still built into our collective consciousness to use. It's just a matter of, do you want to use them or not? As you decide to act upon them, that shows the universe that you're interested in moving forward on all of these things.
Yes.
And probably other realities have their own set of collective consciousness symbols, and they may work or may not work for us. And everyone gets to decide what resonates with them and what doesn't. If it resonates with you, or if you see something that doesn't resonate, but it may give you an idea of something that does. And that's going to work for you just as good and maybe and probably better than what the other person is saying, that this is what you should do.
Yes.
And you could just use your imagination.
Absolutely. Excellent points. See, and that's why I love this back and forth too, because he also says things that I either don't say, forgot to say, didn't elaborate on, or obviously adding to all of this information in his own channeling. He does channel a lot of stuff too, by the way. It's pretty interesting.
It's all channeling.
It's all channeling.
We all channel.
And I have to laugh, you guys,
Yes.
as we leave today, abundance of, wait a minute, what does that say? Sotis? I don't even know what that word means. Abundance of Sotis, stellar blessings of the celestial goddess of abundance. The Star of David
Wheat
at the top,
and
wheat. Wheat is also happens to be the symbol for his tribe. So which is very, of the 12 tribes, the Hebrew, right? Is that Hebrew tribes?
Yeah.
Is that the right way to say it? I wasn't sure.
Tribes of Israel.
Tribes of Israel. One of this is the symbol of wheat, which is the Levi tribe, which is also happens to be Beverly's last name, which I pointed out in our last hangout. The synchronicity, but we were talking about the Star of David, and the synchronicity of that. So being that today is Shabbos and celebrating the Sabbaths, but this symbol is about all sacred knowledge. The Star of David is nothing more than the Merkaba.
Yes.
One triangle superimposed on the other, and when you merge them together, they become the Star of David, but it is a symbol of all life, of all knowing and all knowledge. And if you look at the star itself, the center is a hexagram, 6 pointed stars, and then inside of each one are 6 triangles. The 666 number that we've been told is, it is sacred. That is the secret, the key. Geometry is the key, vibration and resonance is the key. There's so many wonderful subject matters that we could touch on. I hope you ladies come back and join us again. I do hope one day I can just come in your hangout.
Of course.
And come and just, and so, but you know what, a lot of the stuff that we do, a lot of us are afraid to put ourselves out there too, because maybe we don't understand technology. Maybe we don't know how to use YouTube or Zoom, or then find someone who does. Just say, you know what, or do a little research, or just say, you know what, I don't know how to do it, but I don't need to know how to do it, because if I do what I love, I'm going to meet the people like Bree and Dave who helped me with all the technology so I could do what I love.
So Astara, we usually like to end these in a light language blessing or a blessing of some type. And now that you are in your Isis energy, would you like to offer some kind of blessing?
I would like that very much.
Let's see what you bring.
Either of you, both of you.
Andre.
Yes. Well, yes, it's funny because this will be the perfect segue, but I mean, wow, my brain's like, ooh, thank you so much for saying that and putting me on the spot. Look at her. She's like, I love it. Did you just see what you did there? She does that to everybody. Now you did that to her. So thank you.
I'm just a reflection.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yes, I would like to. And then Ray and I, since we met you, Wendy, which I know why we meet everybody, but sometimes we don't know why, but we know why, and we know why, and we know why. In my energy work, I have started channeling what I will call light languages, because I don't know what else to call it. Ray started first, and then I started hearing things and I started letting it go out loud. there's just been a whole bunch of stuff again that we could have a whole nother hangout about, but
Woohoo, yeah, let's.
right, it's like, let's just have 12 years of hangouts planned. But I will offer a blessing in the way that I feel most comfortable right now. And if Ray has anything that she channels, I'll let her. But essentially, what I'm feeling and hearing right now is part of myself choosing Isis as the goddess that, or maybe she chose me, that was coming through for me today. I bought the deck. I shared that with you. You said, let's do this. I said, okay. And I was really beginning to explore this idea of Isis. So for me, the blessing that I want to leave for everybody today is the reminder that it is okay and it is actually good for us to be powerful beings, that we all have this power within us to access and utilize. But part of being in resonance and claiming that power in a healthy, positive way is also working with the power of being able to, how do I want to say it, work with soft power. So I think as a person, myself, who has felt powerful and been constantly made wrong for that, and to hold it back and to dampen that fire of power, and then going maybe a little bit too far into being that power, now is the time for me where I've been welcoming Isis in. And what I feel her biggest teaching that I want to share, and the blessing, is that power can be gentle as well, and it is just as powerful, and learning or allowing it to be that gentle power, and it doesn't always need to be forceful. We can find that force and use it when we need to, and that's kind of the essence and energy. Is, I was always in resonance with Isis. I thought, oh, she's this powerful, bish that I love, but actually working with the deck is helping me learn that she is a gentle angel as well. And that gentle angelic side of Isis, and that polarity of that balance, that's what I want to leave everybody with today. Is, if you feel like more of a gentle person, step into that maybe more assertive power. If you feel like you have a little bit more resonance with the assertive power, step into that gentle power. We need both. We are both. We are everything already. And just working with that archetype as this one fractal of the expression of the divine, of how it expresses through us and all that we are. That is the blessing, is the reminder of that, of we are all archetypes, we are all expressions, and which one are we working with at this moment? And then in the next moment, it could be another one. And in the next moment, it could be another one.
Yes, that is,
and that's my blessing for everybody, is that reminder. And so thank you to Dave and Wendy for giving me the opportunity to be here. Always so grateful. And Ray, I don't know, do you have anything that wants to come through?
I think just honoring the story we create for ourselves, and that through all the perceived pain or darkness or light or love or happiness, it's just weaving in the medicine that we chose to experience. And we can choose to experience something different in an instant. And that's what I loved about that Ankh ritual. And I'm going to do that myself. But also, if we are choosing the suffering or perceived suffering, there's medicine in that too. And so honoring those cycles that we create for ourselves as the process for us to be reborn and reborn and reborn and reborn and reborn. So yeah.
That's very true. Thank you for sharing that. Very, very true. I do not honor my own process. He honors my process more than I do. And he knows that eventually I'll come full circle. And, even if it's to reinforce what you felt all along to be true for yourself, or if it is to change your perspective completely. And you reminded me of Astara when you said that about soft powers. I even find that with myself, that sometimes we have to remember that we don't have to be angry to express ourselves purely. And I'm guilty of that a lot, where if I don't like a situation, I'm angry about it. And we don't have to express ourselves that way. We can still say that is not something I love. I agree with that, but I don't need to be angry about it anymore, and I don't have to, express myself in that polarity way anymore, where I can see things more from a neutral, non-judgmental perspective. And it reminded me of this picture in this journal of Isis's her strength and yet her softness.
Chills. Love that.
His power is in the lightest touch.
That this being, and then to be depicted of holding a child, and yet even the strength of the child, the strength of her, is so evident in this in this image. And so I just have I've come back to this image time and time again, because it really does remind me of that, about we do not, our greatest strength is in the slightest and lightest touch with each other. And so I think that's a beautiful message to leave us all with today. Thank you to all of you for going through our wanderings today and our journey, not really knowing where we were going to end up today. And as always, it's never the way I plan it. And that is absolutely perfect. I love that. I love that. I do. I love it. And so I do know that there'll be more of these events to come with you. And Beverly, thank you for being with us as always, and all of you for stopping in, watching now, watching later. We haven't really decided if we're going to be doing these every Friday again or not. So we just happen to be inspired to do it today. So watch for the postings. Maybe we'll decide to just start doing them every Friday again. So we haven't, like I said, we haven't really decided, but we were just excited to be spontaneous and do this today with both of you, and really embody this beautiful Isis and Thoth energy within all of us. And so we invite you to do your own research on these wonderful gods and goddesses. See what resonates with you. See what messages are there for you. What belief systems do you need to burn away? Where do you need to be reborn? And show your beautiful colors, your talents, your gifts, your abilities, and express your own value and appreciation to yourself and to the world through sharing. We love you so, so much. Thank you once again. All of you, Daniel, Brandy, Bree, Pam, so good to see you there, Pam. Everybody, Chelsea, so happy to see new faces. Love you. Thank you all for your comments. We really love your sharing back. That's one of the best things about what we do, is your sharing back. So I love you. And another example of people starting to speak light languages, just by sharing what you love the most without any intention. But if you've got the intention and you want to speak light languages, if you need a little help bringing that out, let us know. Let me know. That's part of what I love doing in private sessions. I love empowering people, meeting people, helping you through your own struggles. How can you go be amazing and the God and show the world the God and goddesses within you. So thank you for joining us. You can find me and contact me at languagesoflights.com. You can contact me directly. I do sessions, Dave, we do sessions together now. If that's something that you enjoy, creating symbols, doing all of this, whatever I'm guided to do in that way and that now to help you be amazing, and whatever channeled information comes through and how it comes through, we have to be okay with that. It's not always the way you think it's going to be. I think that's the most I've ever heard him speak light languages on camera. I love you guys. Until the next now, I love you all. Bye. Love you.